This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
This is It Was a Thing on TV.
Spoiler number 1 is Dr. Lee Franz. It stinks.
What is going on? What is going on?
Episode 120, Submission 388B, The Video Game Show, Part 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Well, we've covered some of the worst TV-based video games, and so, you know what? We decided we're going to cover some more crappy TV show-based video games on this podcast for you.
Oh yeah, we thought we had creamed the cream of the crap last time. Wrong.
Oh no, we actually just barely scratched the surface.
Some of the games you're about to hear about are really bad, and some of them are just, holy crap, that was made into a video game? You'll see what we mean as we go on.
Who wants to go first?
Greg, you always have so many good ideas. Why don't you go first?
Okay, well, the first game I want to cover is Darkwing Duck on the TurboGrafx 16. Yeah.
Darkwing Duck was on the TurboGrafx 16? All I remember is the NES version. Do tell.
Yes, it is. It was on the TurboGrafx 16. It was made in 1992, and it was... this was probably an obscure TurboGrafx 16 game, because what was the peak of the TurboGrafx? Like, what, 89, 90, 91?
91.
Yeah.
I'd say even earlier than that, maybe, but yeah, it was in the late 80s, early 90s. It was definitely before 1992.
Yeah, it was, and at this time, the TurboGrafx, they were the company that was producing at the time, which was TTI, which stood for Turbo Technologies Incorporated, I think. They were coming out with stuff like the Turbo Duo, which was like the TurboGrafx and the TurboGrafx CD unit all in one.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
I do remember that. I remember the Turbo Duo, the TurboGrafx 16, the CD. I remember the Turbo Express.
Yeah.
I remember that. Those are all things that'll be covered on It Was a Thing in the Home Arcade.
Yeah. Okay, so the plot of this game. Okay, Steel Beak has gathered some of the most devious criminals in St. Bernard to help him take over the city. They are planning on building the ultimate crime weapon. The only clue that you have to their plan are pictures of the criminals looking at the stolen paintings. Jay Gander Hooter and the rest of Shush need Darkwing's help in bringing the criminals to justice. The objective of the game is to collect 12 puzzle pieces in the first 3 levels, 11 in the level, and 1 by beating the boss. You must then solve a moving puzzle and then go after Steelbeak. So the way this works is it's kind of like Mega Man style, where you can like pick and choose which villain you want to go after. So you have Tuscanini, Molardi, Megavolt, and then finally you get to Steelbeak at the end. So, yeah, this game is, like, terrible because it has, like, platforms that you just are, like, impossible to reach. And the hit detection is, like, terrible. And the enemies, like, respawn at a rapid rate. It's just, it's just so terrible to navigate and get through. And it's like you can just easily die in this game. It's just so ridiculous. And not to mention, the funny part of this game, if you've ever seen the Angry Video Game Nerds review of this game, like, if you are idle for, like, I don't know, like a minute or so, an anvil will randomly fall out of the sky and kill you.
That's random.
Yes! But yeah, this game is very... I'll give this game some credit. I do like the fact that it has like the Mega Man style, where it's like a non-linear progression of the game. But No. It's not the NES version, which was featured in the Disney Afternoon collection that came out on PS4 and Xbox One a couple of years ago.
By the way, Capcom does phenomenal versions of the Disney Afternoon video games. Just phenomenal.
Yeah, and
those are the games you should be playing.
Yeah, this explains why this game was so terrible. It wasn't made by Capcom.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, DuckTales Remastered, DuckTales Reloaded, that's available for most of the consoles right now. Pick that one up. That's a really good play.
Yeah, because that was delisted a while back on PS3, Xbox Live, and Steam. But now those are all back up again, I believe.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Good. It's good to spend your Cyberpunk refund money on.
Oh yeah, this dates this show a lot.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have an interesting game based on a cartoon series. Are you ready for this?
Okay.
Double Dragon 5: The Shadow Falls. Now, you're probably wondering, wait a minute, Double Dragon 5? There were 5 games based on? No. There were 4 games in the original series that was developed by Technos Japan and published in the U.S. By Trade West, which is now Midway, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, weren't some of those games also for the NES published by Acclaim?
Yes. Double Dragon 2 and Double Dragon 3 were published by Acclaim.
I know this because every time I watch WWF television on USA, whenever Lord Alfred Hayes would do the promotional consideration, he'd do Double Dragon 3, one of the high-flying action here on the NES. Go through multiple levels from Acclaim.
Yep. And then Trade West got the license back for Double Dragon, or for Super Double Dragon for the Super NES. And then around, I want to say 1994, I'm sorry. 1994, they develop a sort of a Saturday morning syndicated cartoon based on Double Dragon, and it was incredible. I mean, this was just awesome. It sort of built on the mythos of the video games with the Lee brothers, Billy on the side of good, Jimmy having to be coerced to the side of good after being Shadow Boss in Double Dragon 1. In case you haven't played Double Dragon 1. And if you haven't played Double Dragon 1, what's wrong with you? So that brings us to Double Dragon 5, The Shadow Falls. A mediocre game based on a really good TV show, which is based on a really good video game. Double Dragon 5 is, instead of being the beat-em-up that the first 4 Double Dragon games were, it was a Street Fighter 2 clone using the characters from the TV show. You had Billy Lee and Jimmy Lee, and the rest of the roster is basically big bads of the week. And again, and SNES Drunk reviewed this on YouTube, he torched it. Absolutely torched it. Now the video game media, they basically gave the game mixed reviews because they liked the fact that it was easy to pick up in the age of Street Fighter 2 clones, and they liked the character sprites. But then it came out for the because it was on the Super Nintendo and the Genesis first. Then it came out on the Jaguar, and it looked exactly the same. It was supposed to be a step up, and it looked exactly the same.
Oh.
And it played exactly the same. And what can I say except, yeah, they tried to market they marketed this big time, and well, I'll tell you right now, you could tell that Technos Japan did not have anything to do with this. That's why it only came out in Japan on the Jaguar after the American and European releases. Technos went in. Technos made their own version of a Fifth Double Dragon series or Fifth Double Dragon. It would be actually based on the movie starring Scott Wolf and Mark the Chairman Dacascos.
Oh, yeah. That movie.
Yeah, that's gonna be on the movie video game show.
Oh yeah, and also, you know who played newsmen in the Double Dragon movie? News anchors in the Double Dragon movie.
Who?
You know? Okay, are you ready for this?
Okay.
George Hamilton and Vanna White.
What?
I'm not even kidding. Wouldn't that be great, though?
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. Surely Mike couldn't possibly top this.
I probably can't, but, I'm going to try. We could actually probably include most, if not all, versions of this game or of this TV show's adaptation. But I'm going to focus really on the first adaptation of it, which was back in 1990. GameTech released the first video game version of The Price is Right. We could also include in this the Ludia versions for like the DS and the Wii, and I think there was at least another console or two that it was on
360.
It was on 360, but we're going to focus on the PC version. Well, it's PC and also Commodore 64. And I'm surprised that they actually even made Commodore 64 games as late as 1990. I thought that was sort of on the way out at the time.
Well, Commodore 64 was very big overseas.
Oh, yeah.
And Price is Right is big overseas, too. But, this game, boy, where should we start? They did have a decent selection of games. They had 17 games, which, again, remember for being on a floppy disk, 1.44 megs, to get 17 games on there with graphics and stuff like that is pretty amazing. And they had a lot of contemporary games from the day, like Bump, which, you're not going to see Bump nowadays because we can't do the Bump. They had Card Game. They had Credit Card, since retired, Danger Price, Dice Game, The Grocery Game, Hit Me, which has also since been retired, Pathfinder, Plinko, Range Game, Safe Crackers, but it was just called Safe Cracker, not Safe Crackers, and that's the least of their issues. Secret X and Take Two. Now, there are some games I didn't mention because they weren't given their true names. Now, I said Safe Cracker instead of Safe Crackers, but there was a game called Correct Price, and that was just one right price. They called it Correct Price. And there was a game called Golf. Boy, I wonder what game Golf is supposed to represent. Hole in One. Go figure. Mm-hmm. And then there's a game called Mountain Climber. Boy, I wonder what game involves a mountain climber. And Pathfinder, and then, as I said earlier, Pathfinder, albeit spelled Path and Finder, two separate words. I think it's one word on the show. And then they had Race Game, but they called it Pull the Lever. So already we're off to a really bad start. Not using the proper names for, let's say, about a quarter to a third of their games. But that's like the least of the problems once you start playing the games. You could literally get anything at any time. For example, you might be playing the Pull the Lever game, the race game, for a grocery item and a small prize and a bigger prize, a 3-digit prize, and then a car. Boy, I wonder if that car is $8,000 or $75. I'm really stumped. But on top of that, they would have some of the games, which are normally, let's say, played for prizes worth $1,000 or $2,000. They might play it for cans of soup, or a package of floppy disks, or something. It didn't necessarily make sense. Very bizarre, and very random. I mean, you might be playing for the golf game, the hole-in-one game, for a can of SpaghettiOs, when maybe a can of SpaghettiOs is one of the items that's being played for in the golf game. It's feasible. I don't remember ever seeing that happen, but the main idea is that you wouldn't be playing for the prize that's what you'd be playing for on the show. You wouldn't be playing a car game for a car. You might be playing a car game for a remote control car, or you might be playing a car game for, again, a grocery item or a small prize or a dishwasher. You might be playing dice game, a 4-digit game, and at that time it would have expanded to 5 digits because most cars back then would have been in the $10,000 range, and definitely more than 6,666. So you'd play dice game for a toaster. You'd play, I mean, there was no rhyme or reason to what prize you're playing for. But even worse, there were times when you'd play a game like One Right Price for 2 prizes, and the prizes shared the same price.
Oh.
So, and actually, there is an example. If you do a little bit of searching on the internet, there's a web page, oddly enough, done by former Price is Right employee Scott Robinson. Hey, Scott, where he sort of poked holes at this and poked fun at it because he was playing One Right Price, and he was playing for, I forget what exactly. I think maybe it was like diskettes and maybe some costume jewelry. It wasn't a diamond ring or anything, but both items had the price of $19. And the One Right Price was $19. And to make it weirder, he lost that game.
What?
He played One Right Price. Both prizes had the same price, yet somehow, some way, he lost. I wish I was joking. And Pull the Lever race game is the same way. You could have 2 of the same price, and you have to have the proper right price on that item. Otherwise, the other $19 is not going to work. You got to do this $19. It is bizarre as all get out. It's very flawed. But again, that's really the least of the worries. Also, they couldn't use name brands, so they used fake versions of them. And there are some really bad versions of brand names in this game. Like instead of Emerson, they used Emmer Daughter.
Oh, boy.
I wish I was joking. It was that type of game. But also the Showcase Showdown was called Spin the Wheel. It wasn't called Showcase Showdown. It was Spin the Wheel. And the showcases, they were called the Final Showcase Challenge. Again, don't ask. And the thing is that the oddball items from that I mentioned earlier, where you might be playing for a pack of gum or a toaster or a can opener, that actually carried over to the Final Showcase Challenge, where your showcase may end up being like a recliner and a can of soup and a hockey puck, or well, maybe not a hockey puck, but 3 items you would never see on a showcase on Price is Right. No trips, no cars, no furniture. well, obviously there's a recliner, but they're not giving you like a room of furniture. They're giving they want you to bid on a $500 recliner and $1 can of soup and a $10 can opener. And it follows the same rules. So seriously, you might have your opponent might be playing for, let's say, a car and a trip and a jukebox, while you may be playing for this recliner and the can of soup and the can opener. So the same rules apply. So yeah, they may be like $1,000 or $2,000 away from the actual retail price. Meanwhile, you've got this recliner and the cans of soup, and you might bid, $500, and you won both showcases. Or well, actually, I don't think you can win both showcases on this, but you win because you're only $11 away. Like, that's really fair. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. I will give them credit though. Plinko at least plays realistically in terms of random left and right movement, but just it was an adaptation I liked at the time, but it did not age that well, and you can find it. I believe it's actually on archive.org.
Okay, so I found a YouTube video of the Price is Right DOS game, so let me play it right now. Oh my god, that is so loud! Oh my god! Oh, yeah, I'm gonna turn it down. Oh, that is... Oh my god, I thought my ears were gonna bleed after hearing that. Okay, press P for instructions. Do you want sound? No, you should have pressed no. You don't want sound at all. Type name. Joe?
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe. You have like the fat guy, you have this piss guy, you have this Bill, you picked the Bill Murray looking guy. What is the price of this programmable microwave of memory from Cap'n?
From Cap'n. Not Tappin', Cap'n.
Cap'n. He bid $144.
And 140 Ben, you are the winner.
Do you want someone to play for the computer? Yes. Popsy!
Popsy, Farina, Wave, and Farina.
Pencils.
And what are pencils from Rido?
Oh, he picked two thing, and he lost.
Obviously, they were playing the $6.75 to $7 rules.
Oh, here's the microwave from Samsung. 100. He bid 100. Okay. Yeah, he won 235. He's playing credit card. Plastic toy grow from Kumart. A 4x4 truck.
Fully loaded truck from Toyota.
A one-position cloth recliner from Rears.
And a vacuum cleaner from Hover.
Okay, all right, 39.
Pick the globe! Pick the globe!
Yeah, he picked the globe! Because he sure as hell wasn't going to pick the car.
Now, did you see the price differentials there? You had a $9 item and a $20,000 item.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So this deluxe slut from Encyclopedia Britannia. Okay, range game. Six silk neckties from Lucci.
I bet only losers wear those.
Oh yeah, $115. He basically had to stop it right. Oh Jesus. Okay.
Spin the wheel.
All right.
Spinning wheel.
And it stops at...
You win!
70.
70 cents.
Joe, spin the wheel. Go ahead and spin it. He turned it all the way up.
Somebody should probably tell the Egg of the Restless we're not going to air on time.
Oh, you can't get... No, he went past. 30. Stop! What the hell? Stop, damn it.
This will stop eventually.
Oh, he got
95 cents.
He's going to stop. And then Eileen's got 80 cents. She's going to spin again. And oh, yeah, she's definitely lost.
Yeah,
Once she gets 15. Oh, she got $1. She's over. All right.
Bizarro.
Bizarre. He named a character. Oh, what's the price of this lever?
From Simmons.
Simmons, $500. Oh my! It was $12.36. Oh, here's the best part: Plinko. The only reason to play a game.
You want a puck?
Oh, what's the price of the Nintendo?
The Zappin. This was from Zappin.
Okay. Huck. 500. You got another 500. Oh, she got 100, and now the last.
Come on.
She got $5,000.
You just won 6,100 playing Plinko on The Price is Right.
Okay, correct price. Oh, he picked the wrong silver earrings. All right, that's the last one. The super deluxe remote control car from Ace.
I didn't know Ace sold super remote control cars.
Oh, here's Mountain
Climber,
which is Mountain Climber, as Mike said. Oh, the price is like $78 off by 78. The whole. Oh, look at this.
From Sego.
Oh, $200. He's only off by one. It looks like the goat is doing some weird things behind him.
Ew.
Oh, he was only off. He got it exactly on the nose. He won.
From Wilton.
No! The real price is $0.
Really? Oh, that's not even right. That's not even right.
All right, Showcase Showdown. Okay, you got 10 cents. Second one is. Is she gonna get $1? Oh, she got $1. Exactly. I don't even know. She gets the bonus spin. 90. Ken spin again. He's over.
Oh, bye.
Bizarro. Let's see how Bizarro does. 40 cents. And then he gets 70. No, Leslie won.
And she
didn't get a bonus spin.
Well, it's a computer player. Nobody wants to see how the computer player gets the bonus spin.
And what is?
Okay, the showcase. Let's see what it is. A riding mower from Kumort. And then we have this double density disc from Ace. And then the second is a 4-wheel drive truck from Nissan. What's Joe's bid? Joe's bid's going to be $10,000. Now it's Leslie's turn. Leslie does not look happy. An AM/FM clock from Pony.
From Rebel.
And a 512K computer with 2 drives from, what is it? From
ICBM.
Oh, man. You don't want
By the way, that just seems explosive.
Oh, Leslie overbid by 1953. Joe was off by 42.64. So he's the grand prize winner.
Huh?
Congrats, Joe. Congrats.
Good job, Joe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that game is bad.
Oh God, that's terrible. That's terrible.
And that music made me want to. Oh my God, my ears hurt from listening to that.
Don't play it, please. I'm telling you this as a friend. Don't play it. It's absolutely horrible. One more thing I want to add regarding some of the pricing games, like for example, if we're talking about a game like Plinko, they would ask you, okay, what's the right price of this item? Is it $15 or $25? So it isn't, is this the first number or is this the last number or whatnot? And I'm not even joking. There are some times in the game where the two different prices they give you vary by $1. Is this $15 or is this $16?
Is this real life?
What is that? I mean, that's a joke. Avoid at all costs. And really, and this may be on the third installment of the video game show, if we ever do one, the Ludia games are pretty bad in their own right. But with that, I'm going to throw it to Chico, and he's got another game he wants to talk about.
Okay. You notice my background, right?
Yes.
Yes.
The evil owner of the roller games. I shouldn't say evil. I should say angry and evil. The angry and evil owner of the roller games. Now, when you put roller games to a video game, you have an expectation. The expectation is roller derby as a video game.
And it's been done well.
It has been done exceptionally well, both as an arcade game and as a pinball machine. You played the pinball for roller games, right?
I played it in Pin Mame.
I almost bought it like 4 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, and with any luck, hopefully Zen Studios adapts it for Pinball FX3.
Yeah, well, the arcade game is incredibly faithful to the franchise. The pinball game is a great homage. The NES version is neither of these things.
Yeah, because it's not even about roller games.
The NES version is Double Dragon on roller skates. And I even have the description here. The NES version is a side-scrolling platform game that employs the likenesses of people used in the television show, but has nothing to do with the sport itself. Instead, a mysterious, anonymous alien enemy assists the 3 teams of the Eastern Empire, the Violators, Maniacs, and Bad Attitude, and their managers, Skull, John Guru Drew, and Ms. Georgia Haas.
Oh, Georgia Haas.
In a plot to sabotage the sport and hold Bill Griffiths hostage. The game begins with announcers Chuck Underwood and David Sams commenting about the commissioner, Griffiths, being taken hostage by the 3 rough teams, and he can only be rescued by the Western Alliance, T-Birds, Hot Flash, and Rockers. So you can play as Robert Icebox Smith of the T-Birds, Mickey Sly Fox McEwen of Hot Flash, and Mike the California Kid Flanagan. But yeah, it's basically a beat 'em up, and it culminates in a boss fight with Ms. Georgia Haas, Guru Drew, or Skull. And if you beat it, first of all, you're a better gamer than I am, and second of all, you get a congratulatory message from Wally George. All of this will make sense when we actually cover roller games next year.
Yes, sometime in May next year. And if you've been watching roller games on Fox Sports 1 and Fox Sports 2, which they've shown plenty of episodes when the pandemic first started, oh my goodness.
Oh, they just showed a couple of episodes within the last couple of days as we're recording this. So it wasn't just during the beginning of the pandemic; it's still going on now.
On FS1?
On FS1, I believe. Yes.
Okay, I haven't checked FS1 in a while.
Neither have I.
Since sports came back.
Why would I watch it?
Oh yeah, well, why would I watch FS1 in general? I don't want to watch friggin' Skip Bayless and Clay Travis and all those other clowns on that channel.
Like, I don't want to watch a bunch of people. You know what? FS1 was not the same when Jay and Dan left.
Yeah, when Jay and Dan left, yeah, I was like, no, that's it.
And we know that
a louder, punchier version of ESPN. No.
And we know Levitard's going there soon enough.
No!
Well, where's he going to go outside of ESPN?
NBC.
NBC,
yeah,
CBS.
Maybe NBC or CBS. Valid points.
And trust me, I'd rather have him on CBS because then hopefully you'd probably replace Adam Shine, which I'd be so happy about.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get me started on Adam Shine. He sucks.
God. Oh God.
Okay. Now, and segueing into that, we go into ABC Monday Night Football on Super NES.
Oh God.
Now, Mike, I believe you had a version of ABC Monday Night Football back in the day.
For the PC.
For IBM, which included, I believe, a videotape.
Yeah, the videotape was the best part, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, 20 years of Monday Night Football, which, by the way, is an entry of itself. So,
it's a very cool video, and I think it's worth more than the game itself. It's definitely worth seeing, and I think it is on YouTube.
yeah, it's on YouTube. So if you want to watch it, go search ABC Monday Night Football 20th Anniversary VHS tape. And also, speaking of shows that had great pinball machines, Data East, I believe, made a Monday Night Football pinball machine.
Oh yeah, Data East was for a while making really great pinball machines. I believe the Monday Night Football table came out at around the same time that the Simpsons table came out. The first Simpsons table came out.
Yeah, not the Stern one. But I also believe that pinball machine was also featured in one of the openings from Monday Night Football around 89.
That would have been before The Simpsons, but yeah, I think there was a Monday Night Football machine, maybe released around 87 or so, 87, 88. But yeah, that Monday Night Football pinball machine, as much as maybe we ranted and raved about the roller games machine, I loved the Monday Night Football machine. That was a great game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You had the ABC and Data East helmets colliding.
Yes. Oh, yes!
Yeah, and you have Frank Gifford's, the digitized voice of Frank Gifford right there.
You know you love it.
Yeah. And then you have, like, Frank Gifford on the screen right there. But okay, here's the thing, though. This game, no NFL license, no NFLPA license. I believe there's no NFLPA license on this game, too. I could be wrong on that, but there's no license.
Yeah, by this time, the only Super Nintendo game with both an NFLPA and an NFL license would be Tecmo Super Bowl, which was a really good. Well, it wasn't on Super Nintendo yet, but it would be.
Well, they started making Madden on Super Nintendo around 92, but they didn't actually. They had an NFLPA license, but they didn't actually get an NFL license until the 94 version.
They had to buy it off of Tecmo.
Yeah.
By the way, Tecmo Super Bowl, for my money, is still the superior football game on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, but okay.
Don't at me. Okay,
but if you watch right here, and I'm sharing the screen with the gameplay, watch. All right. There. Look at that. He just takes a dive right there. It's like the players are like hard to control. They're hard to navigate. And then watch. Whenever you hit somebody, look at that.
Oh, he just went flying.
He goes flying. When you tackle him from the front, he's like, ooh, like he's got shot or something. And also, for some reason, there's a Gatorade. They had like,
hey, all of this ABC goodness is not free.
No, they got product placement in this game for Gatorade. They have like a Gatorade logo in the middle of the field.
But remember, this was not product placement in a video game was not a common thing. I mean, in the early 90s, I could only think of 2 games that had product placement, and that would be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game, with the Pizza Hut license, or the Pizza Hut logo all over the place, and Super Off-Road for the Super Nintendo, with the enhanced track pack, and Toyota music all over the place.
For one instance I can remember is Magic Johnson's Fast Break for NES had Pepsi. Because Magic Johnson was sponsored by Pepsi. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like it's very, there's like these weird ass Tecmo-ish cutscenes where like you're trying to throw a ball and it's like you're trying to outpower like a defender or someone's trying to tackle you. So it becomes like a quick button mashing thing.
Yeah.
And it's like
it looks like something straight out of NFL films, except not really.
Yeah. I guess you can see what they were trying to do. They were kind of like inspired by Tecmo.
They were trying to turn they were trying to make the ultimate football simulation, including cutscenes.
Yeah. And then look at this animation of the fans.
They're jumping. You can tell they're excited because they're jumping.
It's
Yes.
3 frames of jumping.
3 flames of jumping.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's 3 more. Hey, that's still 3 more frames that Al Michaels got.
Now, I think Al Michaels got 2 frames. Or rather, Frank Gifford, he got 2 frames.
Yeah. And then also at the end of the game, it's like, as something realistic, if you're playing regular season mode, you have like stats of like all the other games, like quick scores that Frank Gifford gives. And like, look at this one screen on the score right here. Like
60
this.
to 41.
Yep. I'm sure that's a scoregami.
That's a scoregami. You better believe it.
Scorigami, take a drink.
Yeah. But also,
Wait, Anaheim had a team?
well, no, because this is, as I said, because this is not licensed by the NFL. You have instead
No, I
of,
get that, but
so instead of the Jets are New York in this game. The Giants are in New Jersey. So it also for the Raiders, they're Los Angeles, and the Rams are Anaheim. Because remember, the Rams around this time were playing in the Big A.
Yep.
yeah, good point.
Yep. But I mean, come on. If you wanted to play a Super Nintendo football game, you had better options. You had Madden, you had Tecmo Super Bowl, and also, I'm going to say this right now, pretty underrated football game. It's a Madden clone, but it's pretty good. Sterling Sharp had his own football game for the Super Nintendo from Jalico called Sterling Sharp End to End. I have the game, as a matter of fact, right here. I recently got this for like $20. If you can find this game somewhere, I highly recommend this because this is a fun Madden clone.
Yeah, if it's anything like Bases Loaded, isn't that just Sterling Sharp name, image, and likeness on a Japanese version of the game?
Something like that. It's kind of like how Ryan Sandberg's on Super Bases Loaded.
Yeah. Super Japan Pro Baseball or something like that.
Okay, so since Monday Night Football did not have an NFL license, they had to make do with some weird artistic license for the helmets, and we're looking at them right now. And, these are...
Mm-hmm.
I have to say there are only like 3 teams that are accurate. Those are the Jets. Hold on a second. Now, I said that the Raiders in this game were LA and the Rams were Anaheim because naturally...
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, for some reason, they made the Raiders Anaheim and the Rams LA.
Yep. And, I'm looking at some of the... Okay, I'm looking at some of the, jeez. I'm looking at some of these helmets here. The Dallas helmet.
Is a dollar bill sign.
It's a dollar bill sign in cowboy blue, obviously.
Is that supposed to be an inside dig on Jerry
I
Jones?
was just about to say, yeah, that strikes me as the kind of inside dig that it seems way too clever for anybody outside of the NFL fandom to get, and yet...
The San Francisco logo looks like the logo for Motorola.
The San Francisco... Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Okay, the New Orleans logo. They got the colors right, at least.
Yeah.
And the Tampa Bay, you can kind of see where they were going for the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
But they did, instead of creamsicle color, they did green.
The Washington logo is, instead of a, politically incorrect term, we have an eagle on the helmet, which I guess makes sense because it's Washington, but their biggest rival is the Eagles. So why would you put an eagle on the helmet?
Because it's America. I mean, the eagle represents America. DC is the capital.
I get that, but still, I mean... Oh, and for Buffalo, you have wings. Because get it?
Mm-hmm. Buffalo wings.
Yeah.
I love wings.
Yeah.
I love wings.
I love wings because you know what? Made Tony Shalhoub's career. But yeah, if you're gonna judge logos that are at least accurate, I would say probably the two that are closest to their most accurate counterparts at the time are probably the Jets and the Raiders.
Yep.
Because the NY is similar to the Jets logo with the wing they had up until like 97, 98. And the Anaheim logo is a pirate flag, which I guess kind of is sort of like...
Yeah, and also, if you want to, if you want to count, like, real subtleties, you can throw Dallas into the mix.
I'd even also add the Rams, because the colors are very accurate. Yeah, it's not the ram horn helmet, but the colors are spot on.
And the Falcons, probably.
Especially in 90s Falcons, yes.
90s Falcons. Oh, and I love the fact that instead of AFC and NFC, we have AC and NC as the conferences.
Yeah.
I bet you AC Slater was a big fan of the AC conference.
And I bet you North Carolina was a big fan of the NC conference.
Oh, yeah. Bet you, like, that's probably why they gave Carolina a team in the NC conference. Because get it, the Carolina Panthers didn't exist when this game came out.
Yeah, I think we get that.
Now, wait, hold on. I'm taking a look at these a little bit deeper. Is Denver's mascot or the logo, is it a snowman?
It is a snowman.
Oh, come the heck on. Oh my
Denver's
gosh.
why is it a giant wave for Kansas City?
I don't know, because
it looks like a giant wave. At least the New England franchise, they got the shape right.
Sort of.
What the heck is that? It looks like a bug.
It's supposed to be the guy, the guy.
The Patriot.
The Patriot guy.
The old logo back in the 70s and 80s.
Oh, that looks nothing like a guy. It looks like a bug. Okay, Mike, I got a question. Are you a fan of the makeshift helmet they have for Cleveland?
I can't even make what that is supposed to be on there.
Let me take a look at it here. No, I can't look.
Is it an elephant?
It looks like a knight of some sort.
I don't know. I think it's an elephant.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. You know who's not an elephant, guys?
Who's not an elephant?
Max Rebo.
Jabba the Hutt's hottest singer was blown to smithereens, but his rock and roll will never die. Presenting Max Rebo's greatest hits, including Why Do I Look Like an Elephant? Ooh, I have an average memory. And his Grammy Award-winning single, I Already Told You I'm Not an Elephant. And his famous duet with NSYNC's Joey Fatone.
Neither of us is an elephant.
Yeah, because we already know that he's not an elephant, as he sung with Joey Fatone, as you just heard. But yeah, these logos, they make no sense.
They make absolutely no sense.
Well, at least
except for Dallas.
Wait.
Except for Dallas.
Hold on. A few do. Dallas, yes. Washington, I made the case earlier. San Francisco is the Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh,
and I
okay.
think that's clever how... Yeah, didn't you?
I thought that was the.
I
thought that was the Motorola logo.
No, that's the Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, and I noticed Philadelphia has a bell.
Oh,
that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's making more sense as we talk it out. But again, like I said, the LA Rams, the color scheme makes sense.
I got an issue here. Chicago has wind because it's the Windy City, but Chico, we already know from the Punky Brewster NLCS episode that's a lie.
Yeah, the windiest city is not Chicago.
It's Great Falls, Montana.
Oh, look! If you look at the Detroit logo, it's a wheel.
It is?
It's a wheel.
That's a wheel. Yeah, that's a wheel. Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, because Motor City.
And San Diego, it looks like it's like Thor's hammer with lightning or something, which would be good for the Chargers. So, yeah, some of these make sense. I still don't know what's going on with the Cleveland logo. But others, yeah, just don't make a lick of sense at all.
Phoenix has a lightning bolt.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
Or maybe it's a coyote. I don't know. I'm not sure.
It looks like a lightning bolt to me.
Yeah, it looks like a lightning bolt to me too, dude.
The Monday Night Football game. Hey, Data East, you tried.
You get a trophy for trying. Okay, Mike?
Oh, it's my turn again. Okay.
Yeah, it's your turn again.
Well, this time, I actually am going to talk about a game that, believe it or not, the show it's based on is a future entry. Now, that's kind of well. Roller Games is a future entry, but also, how many times do we actually get a video game or game adaptation of a show that is short-lived?
Never.
Not very often.
Unless you count that one time somebody tried to make a video game based on the Master.
Okay, right.
By the way, I'm putting that. By the way, if that isn't on the list already, I'm going to put it there.
All right. While you do that, I'm going to talk about, again, future installment, but also video game, Family Dog.
Oh!
Ooh, I remember this.
Yes, there was an SNES version of Family Dog, or an SNES game based on Family Dog, which, man, I'm like having PTSD right now, because the last time I played it, I had no idea what was going on. And even after watching a video before we started recording the show, I still really don't have an idea as to what's going on. It was a platformer of sorts, and it was a simulation kind of sort of a life in a, I don't want to say in a dog's eyes, but it was like a platformer where the dog just lived a day in the life. He got treats, fetched balls, and like I said, when I originally played this, I couldn't make heads or tails out of it. It does, and I do have it for the SNES. I actually found a copy of the game a couple of years ago, and and I actually paid hard-earned money for it. This was developed by Absolute Entertainment. Yes, Absolute Entertainment. You heard me. And it is published by Malibu Games. Yes, that Malibu Games. So you knew it was coming from a great organization. It wasn't coming from Acclaim, and it wasn't coming from one of the big houses. It wasn't an EA game, a non-EA sports game. It was coming from Malibu Games, but it was still good enough to get the Nintendo seal of approval.
Malibu Games, I bet no relation to Malibu Comics.
No, and I bet you no relation to Malibu, who was on the first season of American Gladiators.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll talk about him later. It was supposed to be, as I said earlier, like a day in the life of a dog. It's almost like an interactive sort of, almost the best way I can sort of describe it is maybe like a Nintendogs, like a digital version of actually having a real dog, where you got to walk it and let it go to the bathroom and feed it and whatnot, or else it'll die. Almost like a Tamagotchi.
Oh,
but this was more, like I said, like a platformer, and there were so many things wrong with this game. First off, the control inputs, when we're talking about pressing left or right or up or down on the directional pad, or hitting one of the buttons, it didn't always register.
Whoops.
So that's kind of faulty. Yeah, that's kind of faulty right there. But then to make it worse, a little bit of, let's say, bad physics. In terms of, if you ran with a running start, you would go the same height as if you just stood there and jumped. So when you could jump, it didn't matter if you had a running start, and because obviously, if you know games like Mario, if you press the B button down and run fast and then jump, you go higher.
Yeah.
No, in this case, the dog jumps the same height, whether you have a running start or if you're just standing still. Little bit of a flaw there. And actually, if you want extra height in the game expects you to come to a full stop, hold up on the D-pad, then jump. Does that sound intuitive? No, I don't think so. Yeah, they want you to come to a full stop, hold up on the D-pad, and then jump. That makes no sense compared to like every other game where you increase your speed by hitting like a turbo button or a fast button, and then jump, and then look at that! While you're jumping, high further, you're also jumping higher. I don't get it, but that's actually like the least of my issues. Second is, again, I played the game. I couldn't get past the first level because I had no frigging idea what I was doing. But also on top of that is maybe some of the most annoying music you'll ever hear in a video game. Oh my gosh. I heard it today, and again, it brought back bad memories. But also on top of that, and there is a run-through on YouTube of Family Dog, and unless I'm totally off, that run-through may be for the entire game, and the run-through, I'm not even joking, lasted 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Video game, 15 minutes. Not a lot of meat on the potato, and obviously it was rushed because Family Dog, how long was it on the air? It was on the air for about 5 weeks, a month. And they created a video game out of it? Yeah, I mean, they were trying to cash in on a show that really wasn't all that good to begin with. But again, when we get to Family Dog, we'll talk about that further. But yeah, this video game is one, and the only reason I picked it up, and the only reason I brought it on this episode, is I did see it in a Blockbuster video. Again, we mentioned Blockbuster. I saw it maybe in 1994, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's the TV show that was on for like 10 episodes or 8 episodes last year. I remember like seeing it. I had heard of it, but it's like, they created a video game out of this, and it's just an absolutely horrible video game. And yeah, there are only 3 worlds in this game. There's inside the house, which is where you start, in the pound, and then in the woods. And then once you get through those boards, boom, you're done. 15 minutes on YouTube.
That was the whole game?
That was the whole game. Yeah, that's why I said I had to double check the video to make sure that it wasn't that I didn't cut it off short or something. No, they showed him at the end after he got out of the woods. The dog got out of the woods. He jumped in his in the child's hands, the child of the family, and the child in this game is ultra creepy. Number one, he looks like Chucky the doll.
Oh boy!
But also two, looking at how he acts or treats the dog sometimes, he treats him like Chucky too, probably. He doesn't treat him like a regular kid would. Man, I'm glad I got this game just for the sole reason that, this may be the shortest run show in TV history that was made into a video game, a board game, some sort of game. And actually, I'm going to take that back because there was an Identity board game, and I think Identity ran less than 10 episodes. And if it didn't run many more than 10 episodes.
Yeah.
But this is a stinker of a game. I figure it's got to be semi-rare because, who would actually buy this video game from this TV show that lasted a month? But it's out there. Like I said, I found it at a local CD and video game exchange place. So if I can find it, you can find it. But I know that we still have even more bad games to go, and Pico, I think, has another one lined up.
I do, and this isn't so much a bad game as it is a game that you look at it and you say, okay, that was a game, and it was loosely based, are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
on the 1960s British spy era series, The Prisoner.
Oh, The Prisoner, a very popular cult TV show from back in the day.
Very popular cult TV show from back in the day. It was actually one of the very first video game based on a TV show, which isn't really even officially sanctioned. This was just, here's a guy.
This was just some guy in his flat in England. It's like, I'm going to program a game based on The Prisoner. I mean, you could do that back then. No one cared.
Yep. And the thing about this game, it was such a mind F * K that the CIA reportedly used this game as a training tool.
What?
That's what I said. I was like, really? Really? Okay, now, because this is an unofficial version of The Prisoner, I have to be about as vague as possible here. You are an intelligence agent who has resigned from his jobs for reasons known only to himself, and you have been abducted to an isolated island community called The Village. Not the island, The Village.
Yeah, that's another movie with Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson.
Mm-hmm. And the village's authorities will use any means, including coercion, disorientation, deception, and frustration, to learn why the prisoner has resigned, and every character, location, and apparent escape route seems to be part of a grand scheme to trick the player into revealing a code number representing the prisoner's reason for resigning, up to and including a simulated system failure on the Apple II's part.
Oh my gosh!
This game was something else.
This game definitely was a mind F blank blank K. Dang.
Yep. And you don't play as number 6, you just play as number. And the thing of it is, this is perhaps the most meta game that ever came out on an Apple computer, because it makes so many references to this being a computer game that it is almost to the point of it is being meta. And the thing of it is, they actually made a sequel of this game in 1982, which replaced the top-down perspective with a first-person perspective, and improves the graphics and the colors. And of course, it wouldn't be a video game without an Easter egg or two, and this is a pretty cool one. Bill Budge, the creator of Pinball Construction Set, is name-checked in a headline that says, "Zoning Commission will not budge to allow pinball in bars." So yeah, it's like, it's not a bad game, it's just holy crap, this game existed. Yep.
That's something else.
Oh yeah.
Well, this was the Wild West of video games. You could do anything back then.
You totally could. You could do so many. You could create a Doctor Who based video game and nobody could stop you. Until, of course, the BBC gets word of it and has its lawyers send the smackdown on you.
I don't want to be messing with the BBC. Don't mess with their lawyers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Greg.
Yeah.
See if you can top that.
Well, I'm going to top that.
Oh, you're going to top this?
I'm going to top that.
All right.
I'm going to top it. Brother!
Oh, boy.
That's right, folks. I'm talking about, and we talk about future entries. I'm talking about another video game based on a future entry. Thunder in Paradise on CDI!
What?
That's right, folks. This game was released not just on the Philips CDI. It was released on MS-DOS. And obviously, this is based on the TV series with the same title, as this game is a playable version of a 2-part episode called The Major and the Minor. And video footage for the game, according to Truth by Consensus Wikipedia, was filmed at the same time as the episode itself. So the episode's plot is divided into 3 events called encounters. In the first encounter, called the Thunder Encounter, the player controls Thunder's... Oh, by the way, Thunder is the name of
Thunder's the boat.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan, Chris Levin's boat. The player controls Thunder's powerful weapons to destroy as many threats to the boat as possible. This section of the game is somewhat like the arcade shooter Paratrooper. In the second part of the game, called Island Encounter, this is very similar to other games like Mad Dog McCree, in which the player must shoot the enemies before they shoot the player. Okay, now here's the second part.
Okay, this is Thunder in Paradise, the second bit.
Yeah, we're watching the Nintendo complete playthrough on YouTube. So, yeah, because this is filmed at Disney. This show was still on Disney. This segment's obviously filmed at, like, Typhoon Lagoon or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you see all the rocks there.
I see what is obviously a cue line.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, ooh.
But again, this just speaks to the power and the glory of the CDI.
Oh, yes.
By the way, if you haven't checked out that last installment of It Was a Thing, go back to it. You'll see what we mean.
Oh, the infomercial?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the way back in episode 25, I believe. Ooh. This is such great shit. There are 2 ways to experience Thunder in Paradise. The first mode is called Interactive Television, which lets you play as the role of Zach in the show. Now, Zach in the episode is played by Brandon Call, best known as JT from Step by Step. So you're basically JT from Step by Step.
Oh my God! Stop! No, we want to play the other one.
Spence and Brew ask him for help by playing 3 game encounters. The better the player performs in the game encounter, the more bonus will carry forward to the next encounter. Quote-unquote game only allows the player to choose one of the 3 quote-unquote game encounters. But yeah. Oh, and the fun fact, after seeing the pilot for Thunder in Paradise, the game's director, Robert Weaver, pitched the storyline to producer Michael Burke, and the footage for both the series episode and the game were filmed over 10 to 12 days using a 34-page linear script for the episode and a 134-page CDI script.
Hey, it takes a lot to make a video game like that.
It took 100 additional pages just for the game portion. And oh, the best part, hold on a second. And I remember, Mike, you commented about this. Hold on. Let me just... The credits.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Jim the Anvil Neidhart's credit.
James Henry.
He's credited as his James Henry Neidhart. Playing the role of Norman. That is so great. Oh, and look at Russ Wheeler as the voice of Thunder.
And I like this. Trelawney, Kiki Shepard. Y'all know Kiki. Y'all know Kiki Shepard. Y'all know.
She's no Kiki Palmer. And also, oh, this is so great. Jimmy Hart playing the role of Jimmy. Yep, the mouth of the South. Who else would the mouth of the South play but a guy named Jimmy?
It's like Tony Danza playing just characters named Tony.
I just hope that at some point in the game, Jimmy Hart has that megaphone. shouting instructions to the player. Turn around, guy! Shoot over here! Shoot over there! Come on, baby! Come on, baby! Get through this side through the lagoon! Come on, baby!
Oh my gosh. No, I can't top that. I'm not even going to try topping that. I'm just going to go right into... This is actually like a 3-game installment. And you're saying, well, why is it 3 games? Well, they share a common bond. And the 3 games I'm talking about are Jeopardy for the NES, Jeopardy for the SNES, and Family Feud for the SNES. Well, first off, the Jeopardy games, as you may expect, they're a slog to get through. They take some time to play because you need to type in your answers. But that's not the reason that I'm criticizing this game. This really isn't a criticism. This creates some amazing results. In the games, the Jeopardy game for the NES and the SNES and Family Feud for the SNES, if you just have the letters in the right order in the answer, it'll give you credit. So what I mean by that, and we actually found this out, myself and a couple of buddies, we were doing, I think it was an extra live stream, maybe about 2 years ago, and somebody, I forget what the answer was, but they just typed in, I think it was like Joseph Stalin or Vladimir Lenin, and he was given credit for the correct answer. It must have been Vladimir Lenin, because the answer was men, M-E-N. And if you look at Vladimir Lenin, you have an M, then you have the E-N in Lenin. So it took the answer Vladimir Lenin as correct for men. So we have exploited this feature in Jeopardy games and in Family Feud games quite hilariously, maybe a little offensively, in terms of hiding the answer within the string of letters. So like, let's say, for instance, let's say the question was name a breed of dog, and let's say the answer is poodle, or one of the answers is poodle. If you type in pooped in the latrine, you have Poodle in order in that string, and it'll go ding, pooped in a latrine. Well, not pooped in a latrine, but it'll go poodle, 5 points or whatever it would be worth. It is hilarious what you could do with that, but also at the same time, big time flaw. And I'm sure if you look for different video game streams on YouTube and on Twitch, you can find people. And again, I've taken part in one such stream within the last 2 or 3 weeks. It gets darn funny depending on who's running the game. And you're not really even playing the game at that point. You're playing for laughs because, who'd really think, pooped in a latrine is a correct answer for name a breed of dog. So, and the thing is, I will tell you from my experience the last time I played, if you have another answer in there, I think it chooses the other answer because one question, or maybe it chooses the first answer that's completed, because one of the questions I was asked was name a game played on a table, and I told my friend I wanted the answer I wanted was pool, and so he put in again. I think he put in pooped on my chest or something like that, or something related to that.
Oh, boy.
And well, there is a little bit more because obviously it's Pool and there's no L in pooped on my chest or something like that. But the answer came up on the game. This is during Fast Money as chess, CHESS, not pool. And I even mentioned to my friend, I said, yeah, I did say pool, not chess. And he's like, nothing I could do about that. And I think it's because I finished the word, or not necessarily I finished the word. I think it's because the person who typed in the word during this joke answer the word chess was finished before the word pool. So it can backfire if you're aiming for a really good answer, but somehow within your answer is a moderately less, moderately worse answer. But also at the same time, that can produce some interesting results too. It didn't make a difference. It was during Fast Money. We won the 200 and yay. But that's, if you can find videos of that, again, people have exploited that feature or bug to hilarious results. And that's actually the only way we play Jeopardy and Family Feud for those systems from since we found out about it, because it makes the game a hell of a lot funnier. Well, I think that's it. I think we've done our 9 games for this round.
Yeah, I was going to throw in the 10th and press your luck, but the bit about Price is Right and Ludia pretty much covered it. So. Oh,
there's more to say about that, but that may have to say, that may have to be saved for the 3rd installment of It Was a Video Game based on a TV show. Yeah. So that may be coming down the pike. Maybe next Christmas. That might not be a bad idea. Make this sort of our Christmas tradition, besides doing deep dives like the one that we're going to be doing on this Thursday, but also like how every Thanksgiving we cover a Thanksgiving parade from 36 years ago.
Yeah.
So wait till Thanksgiving 2021, guys, because you're getting the 1985 Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Oh, and you're also going to be getting something else that week.
Oh no! Don't give it away! Don't give it away!
It's glorious. I won't say.
Oh yes, but yeah, like I said, coming up on this coming Thursday is our little Christmas gift to you, which it's not going to be as surprising as Charles Styles Mystery Diners. It might be as long, if not longer than that. It's going pretty deep into something everybody's heard of, something that happened very recently. And yes, at least Greg and Chico plan on talking about it for longer than like an hour and 45 minutes. I don't know how much I'll be able to contribute, but I'll definitely have some stuff to say about it.
We have so much to say about it.
Yeah, but until that time, it's time to hit the power button on our game console. And thank you for listening to this installment of It Was a Thing on TV. And we'll be back the day before Christmas, the 24th, with this very special episode.
Wow!
ABC Monday Night Football.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Friday, Mr. Smith operates.
Oh my God. Ever see anything like this in your life?
Then the Coneheads take off for fun.
Greetings.
With your favorite personalities from Saturday Night Live. And there's Manimal magic in the air. But a killer in the wings could bring down the curtain for Manimal. Friday, be there. Wednesday, you'll split up laughing and flip your wig over a fun-filled hour of candid camera stunts. Join hosts Alan Fudd and Angie Dickinson Wednesday.
It's a double fresh taste for you. It's a double fresh breath for you know. Well, it freshens your mouth and it freshens your breath. Double, double mint gum.
Clean fresh taste for you. Clean fresh breath for you know who. That's the double freshness you get with Double Mint Gum.
Well, it freshens your mouth and it freshens your breath. Double, double mint gum.
Sunday on TBS.
You're an original, that's what you are.
Paul Newman in the role that made him a star. Cool Hand Luke. 10:35 Eastern, Sunday on TBS Award Theater.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes?
Is it true that a Big Mac attack starts with a craving for 2 all-beef patties?
Oh, boy, does it.
Followed by a tendency to repeat yourself?
Oh, boy, does it.
And a total loss of concentration?
What's that?
A total loss of concentration.
What's that?
An inability to speak clearly.
Now the good friend at that.
An urge to share? What about the Coke?
When you get to a sale, and this is all that's on sale, it's not like the National Home Appliance Sale at Sears Brand Central, where virtually every major brand's on sale, like this Kenmore washer with America's largest usable capacity and matching Kenmore dryer. So hurry and clean up.
I love the good life, the excitement, and I love VIP treatment, so you come here, take a look. This Players Club card saves you big at some of the finest resorts in the world. Atlantic City, Las Vegas, Reno, Lake Tahoe, the Caribbean. And there are no strings attached. You can stay in one hotel, see a show in another, and dine in still another. Like here at Resorts International in Atlantic City. Players Club makes saving money easy.
I kept track, and we saved over $200 this weekend.
As a member of the Players Club, you can kiss those long registration and show lines goodbye.
We got right in on the VIP line and saved $30 in tickets.
Players Club operators are waiting. Call right now, and you'll get information about a special deal. 2 round-trip Super Saver airfares, 2 complimentary room nights in Atlantic City or Las Vegas, with a membership in Players Club. You can't beat the deal, so call now.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Place Two Nations, JT Rosero and Chad Campbell here. We want to let you know that we have over 24 podcasts available on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and PlayStation.com. We now offer them to you on 2 great feeds. The Place Nation Wrestling feed, we dive into topics running the gamut from today's WWE to the glory days of yesteryear and the ins and outs of the territory days. In addition to our full-length shows, we also deliver to you special pod blasts on topics old and new.
The Place to Be Nation Pop feed is a veritable treasure trove of great content. Offer tremendous shows covering the land of movies, television, life, comics, and sports, brought to you by the most knowledgeable and insightful folks in the podcast world.
You can find all these great shows, plus archives of our past podcasts from over the past 8 years as well by subscribing to both feeds on iTunes. And while you're there, be sure to rate and leave feedback as well. All of these shows, plus others, available on PlaceMeNation.com, where we cover pro wrestling, sports, movies, comics, plus in-depth search projects, and much more. Be sure to support our site by using www.PlaceMeNation.com/Amazon when doing your online shopping. We want to thank our friends at Boneheads, Wing Bar, ProWrestlingOnly.com, and HistoryOfWrestling.com as well. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr. PlaceMeNation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
Due to some strong subject matter including animal abuse, attempted murder, and suicide, listener discretion for the following episode is strongly advised. Episode 121, submission 1241. Tiger King! Tiger King released all 7 episodes on Netflix on March 20th, 2020, with a special 8th episode recap dropping on April 12th, 2020. And of course, this series ran for a total, as I mentioned, of 7 episodes.
In 2020, if you were in lockdown, you had 3 things to entertain you: baking, playing Animal Crossing, and Tiger King.
Yup. Tiger King. The train wreck of the year.
Oh, but yes. Let's see, we had murder, mayhem, giant animals, Florida man, hippies, people with something to prove, personality cults, and did we also mention murder? And it's all true.
It's all true, baby. This all actually happened. So, okay. Guys, back in the 2016, during the 2016 presidential election, I remember when I was watching Last Week Tonight with John Oliver about the third-party candidates in the presidential election. And John Oliver introduced the world to this man from Oklahoma named Joe Exotic. And, well, we're going to play the clip from that.
And then there's independent writing candidate Joe Exotic, who claims to run the world's largest private zoo for tigers and produces incredible campaign videos.
First thing is, I am not cutting my hair. I'm not changing the way I dress. I refuse to wear a suit. I am gay. I've had 2 boyfriends most of my life. I am broke as shit. I have a judgment against me from some bitch down there in Florida. And this is all paid for by the committee of Joe Exotic Speaks for America.
Wow. Just wow. Joe Exotic is truly the candidate you'd want to sit down and have a beer with, then another beer, and then several more beers until you're drunk enough to try meth for the first time. The point is, Joe Exotic, make America exotic again.
So that happened. And everyone was like, wow, this Joe Exotic guy sounds like the most incredible person ever. And then I just forgot about him after 2016. I was like...
Yeah, we were living in a hellscape.
We had no time for Joe Exotic.
No.
So then, one day, I see this pop up on Netflix about Tiger King. And I see Joe Exotic. And I just perked up like, oh my God, it's that guy from John Oliver. And it's like, I have to watch this.
And you and everybody in America ultimately did, except for Mike.
Except for Mike.
Because Mike has standards.
Mike has standards. So yeah.
And also, I don't have Netflix, even though a certain ex-girlfriend did get me a Netflix. I don't know if it's even a membership. I think it's just like $50 credit towards Netflix.
Well,
okay.
Yeah. Well, let's explain to Mike what's going on here with this guy, because there's a lot to take in, and you need some background story.
Well, hold up for a second. First off, time out. You have a Netflix gift card, and you didn't even use it for this episode?
I didn't want to commit to anything greater. I didn't want, after the $50 runs out, we're going to take $14.99 out of your account every month for something that I'm not even going to use.
How hard is it to just go to PayPal and cancel your subscription?
Okay, all right. Let's not even go there. But
girls.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Garrett. But let me just add. It's not like I know nothing about Tiger King. I've seen stuff about it on other TV networks. Fox did an hour-long expose or look into the Tiger King fascination and the whole story. And I've seen different TV shows coverage of it. So it's not like I'm totally ignorant to what Tiger King is all about. It's just, I'm not, a Netflix subscriber.
Okay. I just subscribed because I canceled it after they canceled Lowe. So.
I am still waiting on the next seasons of Stranger Things, Castlevania, Flora's Lava, and other shows.
Oh, yeah. Flora's Lava is a future installment.
Yeah. It's a pretty good one, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so a little background story in case you've been living in a rock for the last 9 months. In Wynwood, Oklahoma, we have the GW Zoo, and its proprietor, a man by the name of Joe Exotic. You remember the Last Week Tonight clip we just played? That's all you need to know about him.
Yeah. But also, he runs this zoo, which is filled with wild animals all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Especially tigers.
Oh, yeah. He loves tigers.
Oh, of course.
He's like, he loves tigers more than Siegfried and Roy love tigers.
Yeah, and look how well that turned out.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Roy. Okay, well, he started up the GW Zoo, or as it's known, the Greater Wynwood Exotic Animal Park, in 1999, and it has like 200 big cats and other exotic animals. And taking care of all of these are a group of eccentrics, basically.
Oh, yeah. You got a crew of misfits right here that Joey
A motley crew, if you will. There's Eric, John, a.k.a. Rink, Kelsey, a.k.a. Saf, and other people in the cast. And they all have something in common. Two things in common. They came to GW Zoo in need of a place to belong, and they love big cats. But they have nothing on the proprietor of the GW Zoo, one Joe Exotic. I mean, seriously. I mean, if you watch the show, I mean, he's enamored with these things.
Yeah.
Just absolutely enamored. I mean, you ever see a guy hold a little wildcat cub in his hands?
Oh, yeah. Hold the
and
wildcat.
And that is just, and he just smolders for the camera, and it's just the cutest / sexiest / creepiest thing.
Oh, yes.
That's basically Joe Exotic.
That is basically Joe Exotic.
It's like he loves cats, he loves his staff, he loves his zoo, he loves life. If there is one thing that he did not love...
Oh, yeah. The biggest... We talk about how Charles Logan is the biggest villain in the history of television. This person might be the second biggest villain in the history of television.
Four words. That bitch, Carole Baskin!
Oh, yeah. The second biggest villain in the history of television behind Charles Logan, Carole Baskin.
Yeah, Carole Baskin, of course, a rival zoo proprietor and an animal rights activist / hippie / possible Black Widow.
Yeah, when this starts out, you're under the impression that this woman is going to be the protagonist in the story. When this... No, this does not... No, she is not... Nobody is the protagonist in this.
There are no clean hands in Tiger King.
There is no hero in this story.
Not even Joel McHale, who hosts the after show in episode 8, comes close. He comes close.
He's the closest to a hero in this story. But basically, 99% of the people on this show are horrible people.
They are horrible people. But yeah, you have, on one hand, you have Joe Exotic in Oklahoma, then you have Carole Baskin in Florida. They're trading videos and threatening letters and whatever and what have you with each other. And yeah, Carole wants everybody on her side to refuse, because Joe Exotic, aside from having this zoo, he also has a big cat traveling show. Carole Baskin does not want any of that.
No, she doesn't want any of that. She wants all these... She just wants all the cats for herself.
Mm-hmm. Unless do you think that it was just about these two?
Oh, no. There's another guy in this, right?
There is another guy in this. There is a third big cat owner.
Oh, my God. This guy's amazing.
Doc Antle.
Oh, Doc Antle.
Owner of a private zoo in Myrtle Beach.
And you know what it's so sad that this guy's no longer with us, because when I first saw this guy in episode 1, I'm like, oh my God, if they ever made a movie about this guy, he would have been perfect to play him. Okay, you ready for this?
I'm ready for this.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
I totally see that. See that.
You look at Doc Antle, tell me that's not Philip Seymour Hoffman.
That is Philip Seymour Hoffman. Although he'd have to be a little bit wilier than the Philip Seymour Hoffman we see in the Hunger Games trilogy, but yeah.
Yeah, when we first see him, he's like riding on an elephant, because they have this whole show for the people, and like you see him on this elephant, you're like, holy shit, there's this guy riding an elephant.
So there's a guy riding an elephant, and just when you think this gonna get crazier, it does.
Oh yeah, because at the end of episode 1, we have a flash forward to a phone call from the Grady County Jail from Joe Exotic saying, before this is over,
I will shut everybody down.
Yep. So we're basically into this whole, if you've ever seen Westworld Season 1, it's basically the good guys, the bad guys, and Ford.
Yeah.
This is the bad guys, the even worse guys, and Joe Exotic.
Yeah. So episode 2 starts with a 911 call as Saf from episode 1 stuck her arm through a hole in the fence as a tiger attacked her.
Ow.
So she had the choice of 2 years of reconstructive surgery or to amputate the arm. So she gets the arm amputated, and 5 days later, she's back to work at the zoo.
Back to work.
Now, wait a second. Whoa. Speaking as somebody who went through, something similar, she was back at work 5 days later?
Yeah, she was
back to work 5 days later.
Yeah, she's very committed to her job.
Okay, yikes. I mean, the stitches or sutures she had probably would have taken 6 weeks to heal or so. Gee, I mean, that's making me feel all creepy inside. Not because it took me so long to recover from my amputation. Oh, and by the way, that is what happened. I had an amputation, but she had to be in so much pain. I mean, I'm sure arm is a little less painful than having half your shin gone, but still. No, after 5 days, I'm taking painkillers. I'm like nobody's touching or even dealing with where the amputation happened. That's crazy. I mean, that's all that is crazy.
She says, our mission is to give these animals a fighting chance. If I stay in the hospital, the media wins. Well,
that makes sense.
That makes sense as to why she came back 5 days later.
And then we're going from zoo to zoo, talking about all of the different sort of dynamics. We start with, of course, Joe Exotic at the GW Zoo, breeding tigers and selling them across 38 states. By the way, check the laws in your local area to see if you can indeed own exotic wildlife. Even if it is legal, it's probably shady as hell. So...
Yeah, I don't think in New York State, especially near New York City. Oh, look.
Look. Greg, tell me you're getting a snappy of this.
Oh, hold on a second.
That's going on our Instagram, by the way.
Okay. Yeah.
That's going on our Instagram.
Let me stop share. Hold on a second.
I could just use my phone if I have to.
Oh.
It'll look greedy as hell, but there you go. Oh my God.
It's TC and me and the original TC, Tony Curtis.
Hey, Mike, do the Tony Curtis impression while holding the cat.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me put the glasses on the cat. I'm Tony Curtis.
And of course, I gotta put it in the chat. Hang on a second.
Tony Curtis, and this is my pussy cat.
Tony Curtis.
Look at the camera and show Chica how pissed you are at the joke he just made. Look at those eyes. Look at those eyes. Yeah, she's not too happy with you.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's going on the Instagram. A hint as to one of the shows we're covering.
And also, there's a drug kingpin too, as if this show hasn't gotten even more better. It gets even more greater because we have a former drug kingpin turned big cat owner. I'm going to butcher this last name.
Mario Tabraue.
Mario Tabraue, yes.
That's as close as we're going to get, by the way.
Yeah, he is a South Florida drug kingpin turned big cat owner. He has a private collection of big cats. He keeps them at the ZWF Zoo, which is not open to the public.
Hey, do you know who else lives in Florida and probably hates Mario's guts?
Who?
That bitch, Carole Baskin.
Oh, that's right. That
loser Carole Baskin. Oh, I can't stand her. I hate her as much as I hate the people at the Royal Pacific Hotel.
Oh. We're not even going to get into that again.
Oh, no.
I'm still seething. I'm seething. Okay, let's go up I-95 to Myrtle Beach Safari. And Doc Antle is, well, all I can say is...
Oh, yeah. He has a lot of ladies.
Oh, yeah. By the way, one of his ladies worked for Doc for almost 8 years and joined the Cohesive Family Unit, hoping it would be a fun experience, where she practiced yoga and trained animals. Hey, this is probably the genesis of goat yoga now that I think about it.
Yeah. But she worked for over 12 hours a day and for only $100 a week. They were given a place to stay, but it was a roach-infested and small. But she didn't necessarily call it a cult, but she also didn't call it one.
Yeah, well, she didn't call it one, but she didn't not call it one. And I'm thinking to myself, knowing what I know of cult episodes of television series, wasn't the one thing they do is give you this cold, dark room and beat you down and whatever and what have you.
Yeah. So yeah, not exactly a cult, but it kind of is sort of a cult. If he's got all these women.
Well, Joe Exotic calls it a cult. No, seriously. He says Doc has his little cult and I have mine.
And then we're introduced to, oh yeah, this is amazing. He's married to 2 men at the same time.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I have nothing but love for the LGBTQ community. You know this. I have nothing but love, but still, that's sort of twisted.
That's sort of weird, especially in Oklahoma.
Yeah. Not so much married to a man. I could totally get down with that.
But 2 men at the same time.
That's odd.
And the best part is when they have like the ceremony for the threesome ceremony. There's this mock newspaper headline with the 3 of them. It says, 3-ring circus.
That's even odder.
But that's hilarious. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, it is hilarious.
But the living conditions at the GW Zoo are bad. All the employees live in one of the 4 mobile homes on the property, and the nice one doesn't even have air conditioning or an oven. So how do they eat? There's a big freezer truck that brings expired meats for the cats. And they get their pick on whatever's in the truck. So they're basically eating expired food, I think.
I'm surprised nobody gets sick.
Oh, and what's going on at Big Cat Rescue? You're not... She has hundreds of volunteers working full-time for her. Some working 12 hours a day. But they're not getting paid any of the work they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, give Doc and Joe Exotic the benefit of the doubt. They are paying.
They are paying these people. They are treating, for as bad as the conditions are, they're at least paying them. This Carole Baskin, she's not even paying them.
Oh, and by the way, and while they're working, she is filming music videos with her cats. And by the way, Joe also films music videos.
Yes.
His cats.
And these are amazing. He's got Joe is selling the music videos in his store at the zoo. And the music is incredible. He's clearly not even singing in this.
Oh, of course not.
He is not.
Although he does have 2 albums.
He does have 2 albums. But my favorite. I love it. Tell the hunters to lay down their guns. Tell them that the tiger needs a little bit of love. Let him run the jungle. Let him roam their lane. And stare back in Bovo. What a beautiful head. I saw Tiger, now I understand. I saw Tiger, And the Tiger Soul Man. And by the way, there is a great parody of the music video of that song done by Gritty, which is in the background of my Zoom, with Gritty holding a cat.
You don't look like Mike Klaus to me.
No.
Okay. But let's go back to Mario's zoo.
Yeah, let's go back to the drug kingpin.
Yeah,
zoo.
remember, he is a former drug king. He did his time. He did his bid.
He served
12 years.
He served his debt to society. He's like, okay, I'm running all the drugs around. Okay, I'm done with that life. Now I'm gonna go into I'm gonna be a productive member of the society. I'm gonna raise tigers.
Yeah, and the one thing, and we are introduced to the main gist of this series.
Oh yes,
with this one exchange.
Oh yeah.
She thinks she's the Cleopatra of big cats. And to tell you the truth, she's not that good. And anytime anybody attacks her, she goes after them with her millions. She inherited it from her husband that's dead and missing for years now.
Wait. How does someone's husband just go missing? They just go missing?
He just vanished.
Carole Baskin's full of shit, in my opinion. She's got a missing husband that's supposedly buried in her property. And that's a real true story. Her husband disappeared.
The lady who runs Big Cat Rescue, who seems, in my opinion, to be completely out of her gourd, and seems, in my opinion, to have killed her own husband, potentially.
Carole Baskin's third husband. And they can't find his body. Okay, we believe that she fed him to the tigers.
It just makes for wonderful sales of newspapers, I'm sure, for them to speculate that I fed him to the tigers, which is crazy.
And Mike says his children from a previous marriage and former secretary have been quoted as saying that they believe Carole fed him to a tiger.
The rumor is that she may have killed her husband and fed her to one of the tigers.
Oh, yeah.
Allegedly. Remember, we have to be on the up and up. Allegedly.
Yeah, we can't spread libel, but let's be honest. She probably killed her husband.
So, let's do a quick reset here. We have 4 zoos that may or may not be cults. All of them have big cats. All of them are run by complete whack jobs, and one of them may have killed her husband, allegedly.
Yeah.
And that leads us to
episode
3.
Episode 3, The Secret. Now we've had that bombshell in episode 2. Now we're going in episode 3 wait a second.
Wait, are we putting together a puzzle now?
Yeah, we're putting together a puzzle.
Did this just turn from Discovery Channel to Investigation Discovery?
Oh yeah, it did.
Okay, let's go back. Now, in order to tell the Carole Baskin bit, we have to go back a bit.
Yeah, let's go all the way back to 1981.
Yes, Mike was 6 years old, I was 12 months old, and Greg was just a glitter in his father's pants. But Carole Baskin was 21 and Jack Don Lewis was 42. They were both married to other people. Her first husband got into a fight and decided to go for a walk, meeting Jack Don Lewis. For the first time, they just talked. The second time, they just talked. Third time, she got a gun. By the way, don't accept a gun from a stranger. That's just good life advice. So it ultimately became like this whole Brady Bunch sort of situation. Dawn has 2 kids. Carole has a daughter. And do they move in with each other? But anyway, they ultimately decide, let's get married. But let's get this out of the way. You know who Dawn's 2 kids absolutely cannot stand?
Oh, who can't they stand, Chico?
That bitch, Carole Baskin.
Oh, of course. It's Carole Baskin.
So now Dawn and Carole are working on building this big cat sanctuary. We have Carole's love for cats and Dawn's money. Like, a lot of money. He won't tell you how he gets his money. He won't tell you how much money he has. But let's just say he can buy and sell us all for free. And he had enough money to go to Costa Rica to collect cats.
Yep. Went to Costa Rica.
He's got that crazy Don Lewis money. So his executive assistant knows all about him, trusted her with everything. So when he handed her an envelope with a restraining order claiming that Carole threatened to kill him twice, she knew something was wrong. But the court said in 1997 that there was no real threat.
So in August of 97, Don was leaving very early for a trip to Costa Rica, according to Carole Baskin. And he needed Anne to help send some things to Costa Rica before the trip. And she tried getting a hold of him all weekend, and he did not respond. And then on August 19th, he was officially reported missing to the police. Now, here's where it gets crazy, folks. According to multiple sources, Don was planning on divorcing Carole the morning he left while he was moving everything to Costa Rica. Is that a thing if you divorce somebody, you go to Costa Rica right afterwards?
I don't know if you would go to Costa Rica, but Don had Costa Rica money. And if they divorced, he would keep that Costa Rica money, and he would get her cats.
Yeah, Carole would have nothing. No car, no house, no cats, not a single luxury.
And yet, police looked on the entire lot and didn't find anything.
Yeah. So now we're wondering, well, okay, what happened to Don? Did he? What happened to Don? Did he fall into the Springfield mystery spot with Ozzie Smith? Did his plane run out of gas? Did he run into Amelia Earhart? Who knows? But okay, Carole has a theory, okay, as to why he disappeared. Are you ready for this, Chico?
I'm ready for this, Greg.
So apparently, she said her husband was in multiple plane crashes and never was the same after the last one. He could remember things from childhood, but not from 5 minutes ago. Okay. Shocker. Unless her husband was Harrison Ford, nobody believes her.
No.
Because get it, Harrison Ford has had multiple plane crashes, folks.
And has walked away from each one of them.
And he's like, get off my crashed plane, okay? Because he's Harrison freaking Ford. And I guarantee you he doesn't forget anything. Okay, so...
Now this is the part that we call the hook. This is the whole story in a nutshell. Joe Exotic thinks she fed her husband to tigers.
That's right.
Or the less glamorous alternative theory, his body's in a septic tank or something.
Oh, yeah. And not only that, but Joe Exotic, he wrote an entire song about this, and he had a music video about this.
Oh, God, you're going to play the music video.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely going to play the music video.
Why did I even ask? Here we go. Oh, my God! I don't know who they got to play this obvious...
You will about Joe Exotic, but damn, does he deliver on his music. Granted, it's lip-synced as hell, and he's not really singing, but he makes it a grand production for the low budget he has.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, and that was a thing.
It was. So okay, Chico, how was Carole able to keep everything?
How was Carole able to keep everything?
Guess what? Anne was removed as power of attorney, and the new one gave Carole complete control over Don's estate.
Ooh, holy.
Yes, and so in his new will, the first sentence includes all the normal legal jargon, except, okay, the new will includes the phrase, upon my disappearance.
That's shady as beep.
Yeah, because, okay, who expects they're going to disappear one day?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if anybody expected them to disappear, but 5 years later, he was declared legally dead.
5 years and a day after.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because I have to wait 5 years and a day.
You have to wait. Yeah, because they just in Florida, it's like, okay, he might come back at 5-year anniversary, but if it's the day after the 5-year anniversary, okay, he's dead.
This is basically the subject of a future installment, Baby, I'm Back.
So Carole took
with the young Kim Fields, but that's another episode.
Yeah, Carole took 90% of Don's fortune and gave his kids the rest, so long as they don't bring up his disappearance again.
Remember, we can't talk about Daddy again.
No. Okay. Well, there is no physical evidence that points to one person. Well, let's be honest. She probably killed him.
Probably.
Yeah.
Definitely. But let's go into episode 4.
Okay. All right. So, episode 4. So, before Joe tried to run for president, he decided, you know what? I'm going to be a reality TV star.
So, we're basically talking about a Florida man version of that guy?
Yeah, that guy. We're not going to say for another month. You know who we're talking about.
We're not going to talk about this. We are not going to talk about this.
Yeah. Well, wait a month. After January 20th, it'll be okay.
Hey, January 20th at 12 noon. Just saying.
January 20th, 12 noon. It'll all be over.
Anyway, so back to Carole fucking Baskin.
So, okay. After years of trolling Joe through the malls across America, Carole and, oh yeah, her new husband, and oh god, her new husband. Oh my god.
We're really doing this, aren't we?
Are we gonna talk about that stupid picture of when they got married?
No, you know what?
I don't want to even talk about that.
I don't want to even look at it. I don't
want to look at that picture. It's he is the most subservient person to Carole Baskin.
Oh God, he is just an absolute. He is a doormat. You know what a doormat is?
Yeah,
that guy.
He's a toady. He's a complete toady for Carole Baskin. Joe decides, as an FU to Carole Baskin, he decides to name his entertainment company. Are you ready for this? To promote his cub petting, are you ready? Big Cat Entertainment.
Yeah. And that is just a big smack of the face to Big Cat Rescue, which is, of course, Carole Baskin's.
Yeah. And even better, Joe went so far as to register the company with a Florida address and phone number so Carole's fans would see whether...
So he's basically trolling her at this point.
He's basically trolling her. Just ridiculous. So, okay, here comes Howard to the rescue.
Yep, Howard was able to sue Joe and bring him to court and thought they could get some money off of him and get about that.
That's just not going to end well.
It's not going to end well at all.
Okay, so instead of just deciding, you know what, I'm going to play along here. No, Joe decides I'm just gonna ruin Carole Baskin's life.
Yeah. For one thing, he stages animal abuse. By the way, you should never stage animal abuse.
No, you shouldn't have. And also, he's dressed up like a rabbit?
Wait, what?
Oh, you're looking at the screen sharing right now.
I'm looking at the screen sharing, and it looks like why is he dressed up as a rabbit?
Yeah.
Actually, this is one of those things where maybe I shouldn't even ask because, again, Joe Exotic.
So in retaliation for the Rabbit expose, Carole Baskin went after Joe. Shortly before trial, a judge decided to issue a summary judgment dismissing Joe's countersuit, awarding the Baskins $1 million. So Joe blames Carole Baskin for getting into the judge's ear without giving his day in court. Ugh. I don't get why that judge had to side with that evil Carole Baskin. Just, ugh. But as we said, all these people are horrible.
They're all incredibly crazy.
They're all incredibly crazy and nuts.
And as if Joe Exotic, is this Joe Exotic or Joe Millionaire? I'm sorry, what?
So Joe is buying 4-wheelers for his husbands. And oh my God. He's got this reality TV show that he has in his garage.
What's he doing filming a reality TV show in his garage? What's he doing?
I know. And remember, he has that one producer. Remember that guy who had the smoke, who was like smoking all those cigarettes?
Yeah, and I think the only thing I can think of what this is basically, it's like Jack Hanna on The Tonight Show, only with Florida Man.
Oh yeah, it's basically a Florida Man with cats. It's like a horrible reality show talk show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, Joe and Carole are basically having this sort of back and forth, and ultimately leads to Joe almost losing his zoo. And Rick Kirkman, a producer from L.A. notorious for battling a crack addiction.
Yeah, this is the guy who we talked about. Yeah, he has a crack addiction, folks.
He brought Travis Maldonado into the fold, cast him to move out to Oklahoma and work at the zoo.
Yeah.
Now this wasn't documented, but we here at the podcast have done copious amounts of research. Basically, Rick started calling Joe the Tiger King, and Joe used his newfound fame to ratchet up his sort of campaign against that bitch Carole Baskin. So how is Carole taking all of this?
Oh, not well, probably.
Nope.
So while Rick is negotiating for a network to sell the reality show, which would have earned Joe enough money, some random freak fire comes out in one of the buildings, and you're not going to believe this, Chico. All the footage Rick made got destroyed.
It had burned so hot, there was nothing left. I dropped to my knees and I cried. I cried because all of our footage was in that studio, and I hadn't backed up anything outside the studio.
An arsonist hit our facility and set fire to not only my recording studio, but the studio that houses our alligators, which caused them all to burn up and perish, boiling alive in an inferno, a towering inferno, boiling alive in a towering inferno of nothing but flames and fire.
For somebody to burn down an alligator house, they got to be a pretty sick person, because they burned up 7 of my crocodilians.
If you have a problem with me, take it up with me, like a man. Don't burn live, innocent animals to get your fucking point across.
We're not really liked by the animal world, animal rights people hate us. We get constant threats on the phone, emails, letters.
We're offering a $10,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and the conviction of either this suspect or the people that were involved. If it is tied to any animal rights organization, we are going to double that reward. Carole Baskin, crawl this fence and try and hurt any of my animals again, you can guarantee I'm going to put a cap in your ass the first time to make you squirm around on the ground, and then I'm going to put a bullet right between your fucking eyes.
do you always make a backup? Why aren't you making a backup?
Yeah, he didn't make a backup on this. How does that not happen? How do you not make a backup?
Come on. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. So the sheriff's department ruled this fire as arson, but Joe blamed this on.
That bitch, Carole Baskin.
Oh, you damn right he was going to blame it on Carole Baskin. So they decided that, oh my God, Rick was conspiring with that bitch Carole Baskin.
I'm waiting for him to catch Carole Baskin in this because we got emails between her and my producer. She offered him $20,000.
Wait, she offered who $20,000?
My producer.
To do what?
To get all the footage and set fire to my studio.
I had sent Rick Kirkham a Facebook message, and I said, I think you probably don't know about the person that you're working for.
Her intent was to warn him, and we never made him any kind of offer or asked him for anything.
I got him on videotape.
I swear that's Rick Kirkman walking in front of the video that morning that it burnt down.
I was like in shock. I was like, you out of your fucking mind? It's like, that's my retirement that just burned, okay? I got everything invested in that project that no longer exists.
As far as the footage, I don't know who's got it. I suspected Kirkman of taking all of his material.
I was the one person Joe feared the most because I was shooting everything in his personal life and could take what I saw and witnessed and harm him with it.
And Carole admits she contacted Rick to warn him about how awful Joe Exotic is, but Rick knew his footage was worth far more than $20,000 and didn't respond. He knew that footage was worth $20,000, but he didn't decide, you know what, I'm going to back up this footage in case I lose it.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. But Rick was convinced that Joe, anxious to avoid certain footage Rick shot, like zoo manager John Rinke performing vet work on tigers without a medical license, from being aired. After an argument with Rick about Joe's rights to the footage, Joe threatened to find someone who needed $10,000, and suspiciously, the fire broke out. Now, Joe claimed he was in a funeral out of state, but this was the beginning of the end for Joe, as Rick bailed on him, and Carole was looking to get that sweet money.
Yep. Because, again, Carole beeping Baskin.
So, okay. So, Joe, he's in trouble here. And, man.
It's like, how is Joe going to get himself out of this one, you wonder?
Oh, but here we go. Joe turns himself to a miracle investor by the name of Jeff Lowe. And
who that guy be?
Who that guy be? Well, he's a guy who runs around in a do-rag. And oh God, he's like even more white trash than Joe Exotic.
Oh God,
if that's even possible.
Jeff Lowe came onto the scene sometime in 2015. He just brought the persona that he was going to save the zoo, so we dubbed him the Godfather.
He says he's rich. He's all about money. It's money, 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 money.
My introduction to Jeff Lowe was, hey, Saf, this is our new investor.
He came to the zoo, talked with Joe mostly. He was needing someplace to put 14 of his own cats.
My grandfather owned, it was called Robbins Brothers Circus. He became the largest menagerie of animals on earth with almost 100 elephants. I mean, this guy he had a ton of animals. And my first cats that I got were probably at 16 or 17 years old. Mountain lions and one tiger.
What can I get you? What can I serve?
Jeff was a businessman for sure. You could tell he's been through the business world a few times.
He flashes a Ferrari around. Rumors has it he has a jet. He would float back and forth from Vegas to Wynnewood a lot. He liked the party life. He liked the scene, up all night, ecstasy, all that stuff. I mean, that was just their style. And that's a big attractant for him because he's a swinger. Him and Lauren swing. They like to have sex with other women at the same time. And they use the tigers to entice them in. So he took a few cubs out to Vegas.
So are those like bait to get girls?
Oh, yeah. It's good bait to get girls. Who doesn't want to play with a baby tiger?
For, I guess, like a really beautiful woman to get her picture with a cute little dangerous animal, it's like, oh, she's got a little spunk in her, too.
Little pussy gets you a lot of pussy. There you go.
Here's the thing. He has money. He has access.
He's got money. Jeff wooed Joe with all expense paid trips to Vegas to stay in his mansion. He took him for rides in Ferraris and convinced him that his motivation was you know what, Joe? You need somewhere where you're gonna store your cats. So, okay. Joe didn't know this at the time. So Jeff convinced Joe that the way to get Carole off his back was to sign the rights to the zoo to him. That way, Carole couldn't be able to sue it unless he got sued with a round of lawsuits from Carole Baskin. So Joe would continue to be the face of the zoo. But Jeff, he was like, you know what?
I think I want to be the Tiger King.
I want to be the Tiger King. Screw Joe Exotic. I'm in this for myself.
Because everybody on this show is terrible.
Everybody on this show is terrible. We have like a new villain in this show, and it's Jeff Lowe, because he just wants all that sweet money for himself.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Okay, so we're on to episode 5.
Yeah. So okay.
Jeff owns the GW Zoo, and now he wants to nudge Joe out of the way, nudge him out of the way.
And one of the most significant changes in the zoo is a guy by the name of Alan Glover, who was hired as a handyman for the zoo. Now, just remember his name for later, Chico.
Okay. Alan Glover, remembering it for later.
Okay. So, Joe introduces another shady character to this mix, a man named James Garretson, who's a strip club owner and a big cat enthusiast who invested $14,000 to open up a pizza restaurant on the property. Now, Joe advertised this as the best pizza, but his guests didn't know this. But he was using the expired meat from the Walmart program meant for the tiger.
Now, nobody knows this.
Nobody knows this, Chico.
Until March, when Netflix dropped the series.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go, folks. Now, Joe, this is where he begins his campaign for president, okay?
About the same time that... Okay, Joe is beginning his campaign for president.
Yep.
And having failed at that, he runs for the slightly smaller office of governor of Oklahoma.
Yep. So now we're introduced to his campaign manager.
Oh boy.
A guy named Joshua Dial. Now how did he meet this Joshua Dial character? He met him in the local Walmart gun section, and he was like, "Oh, this guy's so crazy. He wants to run for president. You know what? I should run his campaign. I have an interest in politics." I figured, okay, I know this guy's crazy, but this could be my big break.
Oh boy. Meanwhile, Carole Baskin is trying to play her ultimate hand, going to Washington.
Okay, but meanwhile, tensions are beginning to flare at the zoo between Joe and Alan. So, okay, one day while the show was filming, one of the animals begins to sniff Joe's shoes and then drags him into his lair. Now, Joe believes that there's a plot on his life when no witness tries to help him.
No witness tries to help him?
And so while Joe was trying to tighten his grasp on his husband's, everything began to unravel because John, he left Joe for a receptionist after impregnating her.
And Travis is...
Yeah, he's battling drug addiction.
Which is bad.
Yeah, and then it gets even worse. This is when shit gets real, folks.
Oh boy.
In a shocking turn, Travis, by accident, kills himself in the zoo office while playing around with a gun in front of Joshua Joe's campaign manager.
I was sitting in a chair, looking at him when he put the gun to his head. It's not like on the movies. I knew he was dead the second that he pulled the trigger, but at the same time I didn't, I thought it was a joke. Because, Travis was a jokester. He was a prankster. He liked to play pranks on people.
But when I showed up at the zoo that day to get some order going on, Joe's passed out on the front porch shaking. The ambulance is there taking care of Joe. The sheriff's department's got everything shut down. I mean, you had to almost had to climb a fence to get in the place to find out what was going on.
Garvin County officials are investigating the incident and say that
this fucking clown, I'm goddamn one of the best people. I've known him for 4 years, man. Joy, a joy, absolute joy of life.
Joe is now thanking the world for the support.
I just kind of felt like I was attached by pain to Joe. Like we had a bond of pain, and I couldn't leave him because, of course, I wanted to leave. Why do I want to come back to the office every day that, a horrific accident happened? But he really loved him.
And I gotta be real. I mean, they show the security cam footage of Joshua watching the accidental suicide, and just the look on his face, is just surprise, and then turns into shock. Like, oh my God, I just saw a man kill himself.
Wow. Just wow.
Yeah. So the funeral's held for Travis. It becomes clear that, obviously, so the funeral happens, and it becomes obvious that Joe and his husbands were just using one another for drugs.
Yeah.
Yep. And what's going on? Well, what's going on with Jeff?
What is going on with Jeff?
Jeff decides he's going to leave Joe to run the park and move to Las Vegas in order to ease tensions. But Jeff decides, you know what? Vegas. I'm in Vegas. It's a party town. What better than to put partying on a bus, but with wild animals? So he decides, you know what? I'm going to have a jungle bus.
A jungle bus.
A jungle bus.
I'm looking at the jungle bus. It looks like an airport tram with a giant latex overlay on it.
Yeah, it does. Look at 844 Pet a Cub. Just, oh my God.
And I know this is in Vegas because I can see the Aria and the Cosmopolitan in the background.
Did you ever, when you and Mike were in Vegas, Chico, did you ever see an ad for the jungle bus?
Yes, we did.
You did, and little did you know. You could have been on the jungle bus.
We could have been on the jungle bus. Hey, Mike, we could have been on the jungle bus.
He's on the phone with somebody.
Okay.
Unaware that we're talking about the jungle bus. But he's going to look back on this as he edits this, wondering, oh man, I wish I could have talked about that jungle bus ad. Oh, but instead of moving on for poor Joe, after Travis dies, he meets another guy named Dylan, and only 2 months after the funeral, he marries him.
Aww.
He even invites Travis's mom to the wedding, but she believes it was only for PR, for social media.
Yeah.
So, okay, Joe's still pursuing his dreams of becoming governor. But, okay, Chico, you're not going to believe this.
Is it about to get real again?
Joe lost the election.
Joe lost. He lost the election for governor of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So now he doesn't have ownership of the zoo.
So he has no zoo, he's not the governor, and what's worse, somebody's talking.
Yeah, someone's talking to the FBI. And guess who's talking to the FBI?
The new owner of the zoo.
Jeff.
Ooh. Episode 6 is going to be interesting.
Okay, so episode 6. Now we find out why Joe ended up in prison. Okay, so remember Alan Glover?
I do remember Alan Glover.
Okay, so here we go. Alan Glover was a former convicted felon who was brought in as a handyman for the zoo by Jeff Lowe. The two had a history together because Alan immediately got under Joe's skin as an employee. So that's why it seems implausible that Joe would hire Alan to Tampa to kill that bitch Carole Baskin. But that's exactly what happened, Chico.
Yep.
That's what happened. Okay, so we all know that Joe hates Carole Baskin so much.
He hates that bitch Carole Baskin.
Oh, God. She's the worst. Okay, so after Travis's death, Joe, he's not in a good place.
Nope.
Oh, my God. But when you're in a bad place, you do some crazy things.
Oh, no.
And then he has the idea. You know what? I hate Carole Baskin so much. I hate her.
I hate that bitch.
She
Carole
killed her husband. She fed him to the tigers. You know what? Yeah, it's time to kill that bitch. Okay.
No, at this point, it's like, is he kidding? Is he joking?
No!
He's not joking.
You've seen the 5 episodes, you know that Joe Exotic is not.
No, he's not joking. He's crazy.
He's crazy. He's not messing around with anybody. Okay. So here we go. All right. According to Jeff, it began when he discovered that Joe had been embezzling money from the zoo.
Ooh.
So, okay. Yeah. So at this point, Jeff owned the zoo. And, of course, he's a man that Joe describes as a con man who just swooped in and stole the zoo.
Yeah.
But Joe gave him the zoo.
He really did. Joe literally signs the zoo over to Jeff because Jeff had the money to help Joe do whatever Joe was planning to do at the time.
So, okay, why'd he partner with him if that?
Because he's crazy.
Okay, so Joe decides he's gonna leave the zoo he helped build. And he's like, you know what? Fuck you, Jeff. I'm gonna take some of my animals.
Oh yeah, I might take some of that bitch Carole Baskin's animals too. I might go crazy. I don't know.
So he takes the animals with him. He goes off the grid, and he's like, I don't want Jeff knowing he's coming for me.
Okay, so we're back. So it looks like we're back on Alan Glover here.
Yeah. So why would Joe hire him?
To kill that bitch Carole Baskin.
Exactly. So we have another major player in this episode, James Garretson. He had detailed talks with Jeff Lowe about not only that they should kill Carole Baskin, but how they should kill Carole Baskin.
Yeah. James, there's something that nobody knows about James.
Yeah, no one knows about this, but...
Nobody knows about this?
James is an informant for the FBI people.
He's a G-man, dog.
Yeah. So according to the story, Joe gives Alan $3,000 and to go to Tampa and kill that bitch Carole Baskin on a walking path she frequents near her house. But
yeah,
that's
about 3,000. That's a bit.
Alan's like, you know what, 3,000? No, that's not. I mean, come on, I don't want to pay 3,000 to go to Tampa and just kill Carole Baskin. But Alan, who's a coke addict, decides, you know what? I'm not going to do this. He decides, I'm not going to go to Florida. I'm just going to go and party.
And so he does. And of course, anybody who watched the last season of Dancing with the Stars knows that he never makes it to Florida.
No, that bitch Carole Baskin's very much alive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then Jeff runs into trouble in Vegas for a bit of domestic abuse. James brings him into the fold, because remember, James is a Fed, and saves Jeff from prison in exchange for helping to take down Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
And his crazy murder scheme.
Yeah. So the episode ends with Joe calling from jail, and he teases that he has proof that this entire story about the murder for hire is all a bunch of crap. And he claims that Jeff and Alan are partners in crime who just use and abuse people. Like poor old Joe. Okay.
So, where does this all lead up to? Episode 7.
Yeah, the final episode. Okay.
Okay. Buckle up, people.
That's right. So Joe's finances are in more trouble. His campaign to run for the governor of Oklahoma has failed. And so, this is just...
Yep.
He was trying to take over a state to drop the school day to 4 days a week. Yeah, that's not gonna
And,
yeah,
it's all crazy. It's all crazy ideas.
Yeah, so strange things happen. Joshua Dial, a former gun manager we talked about at the Walmart, who met Joe because he came in every day to buy ammo to kill off Carole Baskins, is the most wisest character in this show.
Meanwhile, back in Vegas, Jeff gets arrested for owning wild animals without a license and basically being a one-man militia. He's sentenced to 179 days parole and has an outstanding warrant for his arrest because he's back in Oklahoma.
Yeah. So what does he decide to do?
I don't know. What does he decide to do?
He decides he's just gonna move everything to another zoo. He just moves the entire zoo. But we'll get to the part where he moves the entire zoo later.
Yeah. Meanwhile, okay, Joe's planning to liquidate all of his stuff, except one baby tiger, which he feeds to a chicken? What?
I guess.
Okay. Well, that's okay. So, okay. Anyway, before Joe left, he offered, allegedly, Alan Glover $5,000 to fly to Tampa and kill that bitch, Carole Baskin. Apparently with Jeff's input. He even suggested that Carole, we talked about the biking trail, we talked about the leopard print bike, we talked about all of this, and then Carole is basically putting silencing spells on anyone who utters the name Don Lewis.
Oh, yeah. Don't even mention the name Don Lewis around.
No, do not say Don Lewis. She will find you. Anywho, so Jeff admits to bringing up the biking trail to show Alan and Joe, and no one has any proof that Alan actually traveled to Florida because he was, well, drugs are bad, kids.
He was on the cocaine.
And he was located at a strip club in South Carolina that may or may not belong to the drug lord from earlier, which we haven't heard from in a while. What's up with that?
Okay, so Jeff, he wants to get Joe out of his way. So, okay. He suggests to James to reach out to the Baskins claiming information about Joe. But Carole's husband, Harold, though, ain't as daft as he looks. So he contacts the feds, who show up at James's convenience store and told him to cooperate or they'd have that lemur's head.
Right.
So, okay, no one knows.
Now, Joe promised $5,000. Yeah. Alan only claims $3,000. And now Alan is also wearing a tiger shirt. So Joe argues that Alan has $3,000 on Jeff's orders, so he'd go away and leave the zoo.
So, okay, knowing their case against Joe was not that good. Okay, the feds brought in an informant as a pretend hitman who would kill Carole for $10,000. So in Congress,
this is turning into a bidding war on Carole Baskin's head.
Yeah. So Joe is telling this person to kill Carole Baskin, throw her in a swamp. Okay. So the FBI is informed that Joe killed 5 tigers because he couldn't afford to feed them and then buried their remains on the grounds of the zoo. And that's somebody who informed them was Jeff. And as we mentioned, he was moving the zoo. So he moves the zoo out of Oklahoma to a new location by the Texas border near a casino on a suggestion from James that they can be business partners. And then Jeff swiftly cuts James out of the dealings of the business.
Whoa. Everybody's trying to juke everybody, it seems like.
Everyone's trying to screw everybody. But oh my goodness. Jeff says, we're getting out of here. We're moving the zoo to Texas near a casino.
Oh boy.
Because what else? You want to gamble, and then you want to be near tigers.
Yep.
That's exactly how it works. And look at Jeff. He's wearing that sweet-ass Oakley hat. Oh my God. That's amazing. Okay. So, added to Joe's murder-for-hire charge was animal cruelty and violation of the Endangered Species Act after the tiger remains were unearthed. So, Joe's in trouble, and he's been nailed by Jeff Lowe. So, okay, while Joe is off, Jeff decides to pool his resources with Tim Stark. This is the person who has a monkey on his back. The former associate that became the rival zoo owner drove a bunch of his own construction materials to help Jeff build his new zoo. But he found himself doing all the work while Jeff just decided to ride in his Hummer and solicit hot nannies.
You ready?
Ready for the nanny?
Yes, we're getting a nanny. I need help.
I said, you can get a nanny as long as I get to pick her. If you're going to bring in one, why bring in one that's not enjoyable to look at? I mean, you're going to have this person living in your home.
Well, some of these are bilingual or multilingual, and that'd be great for them to teach a baby that, too. So that'd be really good.
Because Vegas. Anyway.
Yeah.
So
what happened? Jeff and Tim's partnership did not last very long as Tim realized, I'm being used, and he just left.
Yeah, you know what? He's perhaps the smartest person out of all of this.
So Jeff told Joe if he showed up at the zoo, he'd be shot for trespassing. So Joe interprets this as a threat and flees Oklahoma, as he doesn't seem to know that he's also fleeing the FBI. So meanwhile, back in South Carolina, back from being on top of that glorious elephant, Doc Antle is laughing at how dumb Joe is and the FBI's case.
So Joe is making like he and Dylan are in Belize and starts posting on social media that they're in Belize.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how Google Earth works, does he? Because he's actually in Florida.
Yeah.
And now Carole is working with the feds to get Joe.
Yeah.
The FBI finally nabs Joe, who is now rounding up all of his former employees. Well, the government is rounding up all of his employees to testify against him. And everybody except John flip on him. You know, to leave out all of the details. You don't need to know all of the details. You really don't need to know all of the details.
Joe gets convicted of 22 years in prison after a jury convened for 4 hours.
Yep.
But Joe is maintaining his innocence, as sadly, prison has taken his glorious moment away.
Aww.
Yeah.
But hey, at least he still answers the phone. Joe Exotic. Now, Joe, in jail, because he has 22 years to think about what he's done, but he doesn't really think about what he's done. He does, however, think about an entire storage unit he has with incriminating information about everyone from Dylan to Doc Antle to Tim Stark to That bitch, Carole Baskin.
Oh, yeah. And also, according to Joe, Doc Angel, he euthanizes cubs once they age out of the pet and play stage. Oh, no. It's well, it's kind of expected. Yeah. So at the end we find out the feds, they raided Doc's compound. Jeff is still trying to build that zoo, but how long will he be able to be a free man? And Joe still believes that he was framed and wrongly convicted, and has since filed a lawsuit against that bitch Carole Baskin.
And it all started with the zoo. And it was all true.
It was all true. It was all true. And also, before we wrap up, I also want to say big thanks to two sites that helped us out with the recaps. NBCSports.com, for some reason, had recaps of the first 3 episodes.
More specifically, NBC Sports Washington.
Yeah, and RealityT.com had provided us with the recaps of episodes 4 through 7. So big thanks to those websites for helping us out with the recaps, because Lord knows we were not going to watch all 7 episodes of Tiger King again.
Well, I would watch it, but I can't take notes because I'm going to end up as one of those strange guys with the corkboard.
I took enough notes on Second Chance 1987.
You took enough notes on Xavier Renegade Angel, my friend.
Yeah, I took detailed notes on the Xavier Renegade Angel. I was like, I took so much work. I'm like, no more. I can't do deep dives on this, especially after Xavier Renegade Angel. But what else were you going to say, Chico?
I was just going to mention the 8th episode, which would be sort of the wrap-up hosted by Joel McHale.
That's right. Joel McHale hosted a reunion with the stars of Tiger King.
And that was actually released a little bit after the series because, A, people couldn't get enough of it, and B, I'm looking at all of the little Zoom windows. They were talking to Joel was talking to Jeff, Saf, Eric, and everybody else about the series, about their newfound fame, about Joe Exotic, about that bitch Carole Baskin. What else could you not talk about?
Oh, yeah. What an incredible series this was.
What an incredible series indeed. If 2020 on television is not remembered for anything besides this guy.
Oh yeah.
I'm wearing I'm not going to say baby. I'm wearing Grogu or the child.
Yeah. And by the way, Chico at this time has not seen the last episode of season 2 of The Mandalorian, but I will say the last 20 minutes of it is amazing. It'll leave you crying. It'll leave you crying. It's like the I don't want to spoil it.
Don't spoil it. But yeah, that's basically Tiger King in a nutshell. Mischief, mayhem, murder, guys with wild animals for some reason, guys with coke for some reason. What can I say except it was a thing on TV.
Oh, but we got one more thing, guys.
Oh boy.
Guys, it's time to play Non-eBay Price is Right!
Woo!
All right, guys, hold on a second. And I specifically said non-eBay Price is Right, so I got something to bring out. So hold on.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, at this point, you're going to play the theme music. Or actually, since it's not eBay Price is Right, you'd play the primetime remix.
Oh, yeah, the Doug Davidson theme.
No, I was thinking about the Ed Kalehoff that they used in the Drew Carey era. what do we have here, Greg?
Okay, so what we have is now I gotta do the backstory on this.
Okay, do the backstory.
So during COVID, of course, Tiger King was the thing during the start of the COVID lockdown. Now, Tiger King's popularity went into the sports world. Now, we did not have, of course, obviously, minor league baseball, but some teams did operate for the summer. One particular team, the Sugarland Skeeters of the independent Atlantic League of Professional Baseball, which now in 2021 is about to become the AAA affiliate of the Houston Astros, by the way. But they operated for the 2020 season, and they had a makeshift league called the Constellation Energy League. So they had 3 teams playing against the Skeeters. One team was called Team Texas. One team was called the Sugarland Lightning Sloths. But the third team, it was, and I have it right here.
What is this? What is
Eastern Reyes del Tigre? And Chico, can you describe the logo?
Okay. It is the Eastern Reyes del Tigre. It is a tiger head with a sweet mullet.
With the Joe Exotic mullet.
Joe Exotic mullet, yeah.
Okay, so I got this shirt from the Sugarland Skeeters web store. So, we're playing not eBay prices right. So the way this is going to work is this is going to be straight up dollars. No dollars and cents, straight up dollars.
So the question is, how much did Greg pay for that?
How much did I pay for this shirt? Not including shipping. Shipping is not included, just the price of this shirt. So I will go with Chico first for his
$30.
Mike,
it's got to be $30.
Okay, is that a sweatshirt?
It's a T-shirt.
That $30 is a good bid. I'm gonna go. Well, if we both overbid, we get to rebid again.
Yes.
I'll go 32.
You have both overbid.
Okay.
Damn it! I knew it. Okay.
Okay, so lower than $30.
$25.
Mike.
$28.
You have both overbid again.
Oh God!
Was this in the clearance rack? What?
It's like my Las Vegas 51 jersey, Ringer jersey was like $30. I mean, come on. Okay.
Did it at least have Jacob deGrom on it?
No, it did not.
Oh.
I didn't have any money back then. Okay. I'll try $18.
Mike?
20.
Okay, you ready? The price on the Eastern Reyes del Tigre t-shirt. $24. Mike wins.
Yay.
Now, really, I would have expected it to be like $30, $32, $35.
I know. I mean, because A, you're buying directly from the team, and B, well, that's how much long sleeve riggers usually go.
And also, C, that is so freaking cool.
It is incredibly
that is amazing.
Cool.
For a 1-year team, I mean, that was just... Also, the team was actually managed by former Yankees pitching coach Dave Island.
Oh, yeah.
And former Met, right?
I think he was a former Mets pitching coach too. Let me look.
No, I think he was a former Met pitcher. Wasn't Dave Island a former Met?
I'm looking at his Wikipedia page, right? No. As a player, he wasn't a former Met coach, not a former player though.
Gotcha.
He was the Mets pitching coach under Callaway.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I knew he was pitching coach with the Mets recently because I remember hearing his name.
Yeah, because obviously Mickey Callaway was your pitching coach.
Yes.
Well, yeah, Indians pitching coach. Yes.
Yes, the soon-to-be renamed Cleveland baseball team.
Yeah, whatever they're going to do with that.
Yeah, still hoping for Cleveland Spiders, by the way.
A lot of people are. Let's get away from that.
Yeah.
Especially since you didn't hear my voice that often. Well, I was I was taking care of some business, and I actually had an idea for how to redeem myself since I didn't contribute all that much.
Oh, what is it?
What's that?
Oh, it's an actual eBay Price is Right.
Let's play the real music.
Old school theme.
Yeah, we get the new and we get the old. So what is up for bids? Now, you guys, I'm sure, covered his political aspirations.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So what this is you're going to laugh when I say this. This is a very weird campaign souvenir. It's not a button or a pin. I kid you not. It's a Joe Exotic campaign condom.
Yeah, that's actually featured in the show.
Okay, so here's what I've done. I have found the one that sold for the most money on eBay, and this.
By the way, R.I.P. Mike's mentions.
Oh, for frig's sake! Well, at least I didn't type in. Now, I didn't type in the word condom. Yeah. At least I just searched for campaign stuff. At least I didn't put in sex swing in eBay.
No.
Sorry, R.I.P. your search history. But anyhow, this sold on. It's the most expensive one on eBay. Yes, there is more than one that has sold on eBay in the last few months. It sold on November 23rd. And I want to know how much it sold for, again, without shipping being included. Dollars and cents. And I'll pick Greg first because Chico's consolation is he gets a bid second since he missed the last one.
Okay.
I'm
going
so remember, this is the most expensive.
The most expensive.
I can't believe I'm saying these words in one strand.
Okay.
Joe Exotic campaign condom.
Okay, I'm going to. All right. $100.
All right, Chico.
$69.69.
The sale price of this is below $69.69, so we're gonna get rid of the bids and please go under $69.69, Greg.
$50.
Chico.
$37.69.
Okay, the actual retail price or the actual selling price of this Joe Exotic campaign condom is $39.99. $39.99 for a Joe Exotic condom. Boy, who really got fucked over in that one?
Okay, sadly, I do not have an eBay Prices Right to bring to the party, but it'll probably change when we talk about what we're talking about next week. But in the meantime, you can go over to our website, itwasathingontv.com, find out more about the show, more about us, all of our past episodes, all of our past live shows, all of our past mini-sodes, and of course, links to our good friends at Place to Be Nation, where we do the weekly, we do the weekly drops.
Oh yeah, and if you've been listening to the weekly drops, in between episodes, I'm also including classic commercials in between the breaks.
Nice.
I mean,
that's Greg's little gift there. Yes.
Yes, and also I've found some good stuff in this latest drop that's coming up. It's the Ernie Anderson / what was this? I've already forgotten what
Davis Rules.
Davis Rules. Yeah, I forgot about Davis Rules. And I forgot that Mark Mothersbaugh, who did the music for Davis Rules, also did the music for this installment in Tiger King for Netflix. And also, fun fact, an executive producer for this show was Fisher Stevens. Yes, that's right, the dude from Short Circuit.
Oh, her pants are blazing for you, Newton Crosby.
Will you grow up? So, next week's episodes, we've got one really big one and one kind of sort of interesting one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The kind of sort of interesting one is, I don't know how to explain it except he was a thing back in the 90s and sort of
80s.
gave birth 80s.
Well, 80s and 90s, or early 90s, yeah.
80s and 90s, and he sort of gave birth to the loudmouth on television genre. And of course...
No, don't give away too much, Chico.
Well, it could be any loudmouth on television.
Yeah, true.
And the second episode, let's just say there was a lot of things that happened on TV this year. We gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be our first annual year in review show.
Yeah.
So we'll say that much. The second episode, which will drop on the 31st, is our 2020 year in review. And gosh, do we have a lot that we need to talk about? Not even talking about what COVID's done to television. That was actually not even the intention when that went on the schedule early this year. It was, okay, let's focus on the really bad shows we've seen this year, the really weird shows we've seen this year. We didn't even have COVID on our radar. Lo and behold, COVID's on everybody's radar now.
But in the meantime, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're listening to us on YouTube, don't forget to ring my bell. For updates on new content. And that'll do it for us. We will see you next week with 2 more editions of It Was a Thing on TV.
Have a Merry Christmas, everybody.
Wow!
Oh my God. I am never going to financially recover from this.